The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Will you look at those morons? I paid my taxes over a year ago.
Dad, that was last year's taxes. You have to pay again this year.
I used to work making minimum wage, came up to about $200 a week, and then they would take out $50 in taxes. That's a lot of money if you only make $200 a week, man. That's like kicking Wednesday and Thursday in the okay? What do I get for my tax money? Get all the free street light in the world. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, give everybody a candle and give me my $50 back.
Bozo the Clown? Yes, of course, Bozo the Clown. What other bozos are there? I don't know. Bozo the Tax Accountant?
Well, the good news is, since you do a sex advice podcast, which I really like, by the way, every time it's a write-off.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And not just also, and even.
Taxes? It's tax season.
Let us begin.
It's showtime!
Yeah. It's tax day and all that nonsense, right?
Today's the day.
Today is the day.
You gotta get it in today.
I love that old Homer Simpson line, I paid taxes over a year ago. That's cute. Welcome to the Half-Ass Morning Show. It's just a wonderful, wonderful Monday morning. I would have said that regardless. I forgot that today was tax day. Well, good luck to anyone who's trying to get their money straightened out here at the last minute.
Now that you have a wife, I know she's very smart. She took care of that, so you're far and away done. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
You're right.
You used to be the Homer Simpson of the show where you'd forget you had to do it every single year.
You're right.
Oh, no.
Paying the bills, paying taxes. I was always the last guy to remember that kind of thing. But Cubby's spot on. I found out a couple months ago that I married a lady who knows how to fill out those tax forms all by herself.
That's impressive.
So there you go. She handled it for the both of us. She isn't as dumb as you guys thought she was.
Well, those guys thought she was.
Right. So I'm sitting pretty. Tell me everything about your weekend, Josh.
Really not much to tell. Snuck in the taxes yesterday. Waited till the last second. When you have to pay in at the end of the year, you wait till the last second to do it.
Yeah, that's why my boyfriend did his yesterday, and he said the same thing.
Yep.
So I did that yesterday, and other than that, just what I like to call spring cleaning around the house.
Met
with a buddy on Friday, but that was the most excitement. Well, my son, they had a football start up, so I guess nothing exciting. It's your usual
spring cleaning,
usual boring weekend, which is how I like it.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. I guess
find yourself on a bar stool somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. I did a little bit of cleanup yesterday myself. Cracked open the garage. It's time to dry that bitch out. You know what I mean?
It's
crack the door
little
open.
Wet from the winter.
Well, you know what I mean. Of course, it wasn't your typical winter where it's really terrible. But you crack the garage door, you let it air out a little bit.
So much dirt and crap in there.
Right. You sweep a little bit, you run the blower.
I'm kind of anal about that. I like to keep it clean.
You do.
I had a guy compliment that.
You're talking all year round you like to keep it clean.
Yeah, I do. And that in my utility room, a gentleman who was fixing some stuff in my house, he complimented me on the cleanliness of my garage and utility room, and I felt like a man.
I bet that just made your year.
For the first time, I even told my wife, did you hear what he said? He said, this is how a garage and a utility room is supposed to be organized and clean. That's one of the proudest moments of my life.
You call your wife in, you're like, okay, tell her what you just told me.
I get very intimidated having alpha males come over to my house because I'm afraid they're going to sweep my wife off her feet and take her away from her. I'm afraid my son's going to call him dad. Those are the two fears I have. And this guy complimented those two things.
The utility guy's like, hey, son, would you like to go back and have a catch?
And he, like my dogs, just falls in love instantly. You're my new favorite. This is what a dad's supposed to be like.
That's never going to happen, and you know it.
Felt good, though.
Oh, yeah, I did a little cleaning up of this and that. Speaking of dogs, this was kind of interesting. I got this tiny little dog at the house now. We got him, I don't know, a month ago. Got her, actually. That friggin' wife I was telling you about, who's good with numbers, she left town yesterday morning. I'm a free agent for 2 days.
She travels quite a bit for work, doesn't she?
It's a beautiful thing. Text me. 2 days. I got 2 days. So yesterday I took this tiny little dog outside, which isn't part of the future plans for this tiny little dog. This thing is owl bait, you know what I mean? So it's not going to be a regular outside dog. It's too little for that. It could slip through cracks in the fence. It uses a litter box, as I think I've explained once or twice on this show. This little dog uses and it's kind of funny. But yesterday, just because the weather was so nice, I put a leash on this little part squirrel, part dog thing that I've got living at the house, and we went out into the backyard. It's fun, and I don't think this thing had ever been outside before. You know, it was born in a what do you call it? A foster situation, right? And they've always, for the first 5-6 months of its life, it's pottied indoors. I take it outside. This was fun because it didn't want to go out at first. The dog kind of, what are you talking about? You want to go out? You want me to go with you out to that big scary? I don't even know. But you had to see this because every little sound made it jump about 6 inches off. A child screaming in the, in the distance, and the dog would go, what the hell was that? A bird goes by and goes, and the dog goes, oh, God, what was that? It was a lot of fun watching this. Even when I would just shuffle my feet, the dog would react. What was that?
Yeah, that's like our dog right now.
But then slowly but sure, actually pretty quickly, it got used to it. But that was fun. It was a brand new world for this little peckerhead.
You know,
that sounds awesome.
You sound like a parent. You have an experience where you're living through the eyes of someone who's never experienced it, and you get excited to see the progression of this scared little person to someone who really is enjoying the outdoors.
I guess that's as close as I'll ever come to being a parent.
So the dog being trained to go potty inside, did he come that way?
Yeah, it's never done any outside pottying.
Well, that's cool that it's already, because potty training is no fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's pretty good at it. So there you go. You had a nice quiet weekend, Josh. Did you and the wife go on any fart walks?
Well, we did go on a walk yesterday, and I didn't notice any farting.
I hate that I even had to ask you that. Because I'm not a fart humor guy. I'm really not. But here's the deal. There's a new health trend, and it's called fart walks.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense.
Dennis sounds interesting.
I'm intrigued.
Interested, I should say. He sounds interested.
I noticed, for our dogs, magic. When you go for, we have a very loud farter, and it works on one of them, and, instantly it gets things churning where they're going to go number 2. Even if you take them out before we go, that walk does wonders for them.
Oh, I bet your dogs could really just blast it.
I'd like you to come over and see.
Let me throw this at you now. This new health trend. The article begins with this ridiculous question. In my opinion, this is a stupid question. The question is, do you ever go for a walk after a big meal? Hell no. I stay as close to indoor plumbing as possible after a big meal. What are you, crazy? Going for a walk?
I used to do that, and it was actually really nice.
Yeah,
because it's supposed to be good for you. I don't know.
Oh, I could never do that. I have to lay on the couch for at least a half hour.
That's what I do now, Waffle.
I've matured.
Yeah, if I'm feeling guilty for my food choices and how much I consumed, maybe I'll go for a walk.
Yeah.
Walk it off a little bit.
I can't imagine in a million years thinking to myself, wow, that was an incredible tray of lasagna there. I better walk around the neighborhood nowhere near an indoor toilet for a while. That's what I better do. That's taking a massive risk, in my opinion.
I just had 4 plates at Thanksgiving. Right. Time to go for a walk.
Let's go abandon myself in the neighborhood somewhere.
You do see a lot of people walking after a Thanksgiving meal, so it must be a thing.
They're crazy people. So anyway, some old lady, she's a cookbook author named Marilyn Smith, You guys, she's trending right now.
Oh.
She is. She is. Don't immediately show your jealousy, but she's trending right now.
About 60 minutes after we've eaten, we put on our running shoes and off we go. Now, why do we do this? Well, we eat a lot of fiber, so we have gas. Everybody does. And, you fart when you walk. So that's why I named it that. But the main reason that we do the fart walks is because by walking for as little as 2 minutes, we usually walk for about 10, 15, 20, but not really quickly. It's more of a moderate walk. We are helping reduce our chances of developing type 2 diabetes. So, sign yourself up for fart walks.
Her delivery aggravates me.
I'm with you.
What did she say? Number one, it gets the farts cooking if you go for a walk, and number two, you can avoid diabetes?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the way she talks, she does sound pretty pleased with herself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Even in the video, she looks pleased with herself.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes, the way she's like, now, why do we do this? And then immediately answers the question, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh. Now, why do we do this, you ask? I'll tell you. That's Marilyn Smith. So she coined the phrase fart walk on TikTok, which is real cute. She's a big fan of high-fiber meals, she and her husband. So they go on regular walks to get things moving. Man, no thanks. I'll just stand in the hallway nearest the toilet and prepare for disaster. That's what I'll continue to do. That's what I'll continue to do after a giant meal. I love this too. Did she say this? I got so angry with her right away. I wasn't completely listening. She adds in that, walking is a great low-impact way to get some exercise as well.
I believe that I left that in the clip.
Thanks for dumping the absolute obvious on us right there. Yes. What? Walking? It's a great way to get some. Is it low impact? Of course it is, you moron.
Big Mig Welder, Jesus brings up a good point. Fart walk. If you're over 40, that can be a fart run real quick. That's true. That might be your last line of defense.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why there's no way you're ever going to catch me going for a walk after any meal. Doesn't have to be any meal. You're crazy.
I'm reading more about this woman. She refers to herself as the Queen of Fiber.
Yeah, she can have that title. I don't think... I don't see too many people battling her for that title.
I didn't know that fiber gave you gas until I ate an entire box of Fiber One bars one afternoon.
Dude.
An entire box.
Boy.
You're lucky you didn't suffer a prolapse.
I know.
Yeah.
God.
Dang, man.
With some Activia or something.
Oh, it was a rough evening. I mean,
I bet it for those around you as well.
Yeah, I could not stop farting.
Man, what?
That's disgusting.
I know. I'm not proud of it. I'm just willing to admit it happened.
Yeah, what do we got here now? Text messages coming in. Mouse and cheeses, Jesus. He says, fart walk. We used to call that crop dusting. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I remember the first time I heard that, I laughed and laughed and laughed. It was from a lady who just got done crop dusting.
Oh, yeah?
And she told me, I just crop dusted the people behind us. We were at a mall. I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. And then she told me, and I almost died.
Terrible.
A cousin taught it to me. He told me he was a server at a restaurant. He told me, he goes, anytime he didn't like a table, he goes, I'll crop dust them every day of the week.
For me, it was
not right.
Burnsville Center. I wonder if anybody listening right now is the one that was a victim of her crop dusting.
That'd be a nice full circle moment, wouldn't it?
Hey, we walked behind her.
Yeah, I know who Josh is referring to as well. I know the lady he's referring to, the one who taught him the term and displayed for him the act of crop dusting, and it puts a dent in my love for her. Because I loved her.
Oh, I know.
It puts a dent in my love.
One of my better all-time friends. Well, the reason she told me is because she wanted to walk a little faster to get away from it. That's why she gave me the heads up.
Although, if it happened at Burnsville Center, I can't imagine she's the only one crop dusting that day.
I've never even been to Burnsville Center. I don't think I've ever even been there. Local legend, former wrestling referee Rob Page has texted in and volunteered to be my wingman during my 2 days of free agency.
Well, that's great.
That's a pretty good wingman.
Oh, that's a great wingman right there.
You could tell some stories. Plus, I'm way better looking than him. Isn't that?
Are you really?
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
That helps.
Isn't that how you play it out, right?
I picture him very handsome. I haven't met him before.
Oh no.
Oh really?
No, not at all.
I'd say he's a handsome dude.
Well, that kind of ruins my image of him.
You don't have to be all cutesy about it, Dana. You've met him. I've met him. Waffles met him. No, I mean, he's a grown man. You can be honest with him.
Now, were you being honest?
Yeah.
No,
you're
Dana
just being
was
nice.
not. He's being nice.
The way you said "yeah" made me think you're not being nice.
Well, I mean, I never really thought of it, but yeah, I don't know. He's a good-looking dude.
Well, think about it.
And then you said, "I don't know." There's little clues in there that you don't think he's a good-looking dude.
So now, Dana has.
I'm looking at pictures of him right now.
Your opinion doesn't factor in for a little while until you admit that you were just trying to be nice. But here's the deal: this is important to me. I got 2 days of free agency. Is that the best wingman? Would it be someone who's not nearly as attractive as you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely the way to go.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know because
I've heard that before, Josh.
There was a guy that worked in this building who was the best looking person I have ever seen, whether watching someone on a movie or in person.
You know someone that we worked with who's the best looking person you've ever seen?
By far. By far.
Write him down.
Okay, I can't remember his name, though.
Was he the big, tall guy that played college basketball?
Nope.
Okay, because his name was Dallas.
Yeah, it wasn't Dallas.
Okay.
I wouldn't...
He was a handsome dude.
God, I want to say it was like Brett or... This was when I first started, so we're talking like 1996.
Okay, I was here.
Gorgeous, blonde. He was gay. Does that help?
Sort of.
Okay, so it was great because all the women would just flock to him.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay, you know,
yes,
yeah.
I also cannot think of his name, but I know
it's
who you're...
killing me because I loved the guy.
Yeah, he was a very cool guy.
My brain's not working.
He was very, very nice, and you're right. He was a good-looking dude.
I used to hang with him all the time.
You did?
All the time. And he would bring, the girls would just flock to him, and then he'd have to say, I'm gay, but my friends here would love to talk to you.
Oh,
So
smart.
he was the best wingman.
Okay. So I'm kind of surprised that he was the best looking. You think he's the best looking person you've ever seen, but I do remember him being handsome. All right. So okay. I'm stuck at square one. You're saying this dude was really good looking, but he was a gay dude, so that helps, right?
Yep.
Because he's going to say, yeah, look, I'm not interested in you chicks.
That was perfect. He had the look that's going to bring girls over, and then he had no interest in them sexually whatsoever. So we didn't have to compete with him.
He'd say, go talk to that little dude over there. Yeah,
exactly. He didn't say little dude. I don't know. He threw that in there. But yeah, he said, if you'd like to talk to this guy over here, he'd probably love to talk.
Well, he was a tall dude.
Yeah, he was a tall guy.
So he would probably refer to any of us as little. All right, well, I got to work this out. Rob Page is a great guy. He's just not very good looking.
He even says he's a gargoyle.
Yeah, he texted in and he admitted.
Did he call himself? He called himself a gargoyle?
Yeah. Dana, now that he said that, do you want to revisit your answer?
Yeah, I looked at more pictures of him. Yeah, there's some gargoyle vibes there.
All right.
I don't think
that's quite the change.
Yeah, now you're being mean.
I don't think I've ever seen Rob Page without a beard, by the way. I wonder what he looks like without that.
Worse.
Just a little baby face. That's what I look like.
My wife wants me to keep a beard because she hates my face.
Yeah.
My girlfriend hates my face when it's clean shaven. She's like, you look so young.
That was a humble brag. A little bit. Not much, because I know you didn't mean to, but just a little bit.
Got a text from OG's Jesus, and he says this to me now. He says, you're wifeless for 2 days. I can send you my VR headset and my fleshlight. Just wash it before returning.
Well, you've got the VR headset.
I do.
And didn't you used to have a fleshlight?
I did.
Yeah, did Wapple, was that you that got him that? I thought somebody picked it up for you.
I got
yes,
it
I think
for him,
you did, yeah.
He paid me, I got it.
Yeah.
You're the one that picked it up.
I was the middleman.
I told you that it
fleshlight middleman.
What's the word I'm looking for? It, crumbled. It
really
this is the word I've been trying to find. Disintegrated. And it wasn't because I'm like a 16-year-old kid just murdering it every night. Far from that. Far from that. It just, I don't know if it was the temperature in my home or the humidity in the room where I kept it, but it lost its firmness. It was an odd thing. It really was. It really was.
That sucks.
Did you ever use any of like the lotions and cleaning products that you were supposed to use?
No. I just run it through the dishwasher.
I did that, and it actually kind of kept it in its form.
But I don't want to talk about my fleshlight. It died. It was a weird thing.
I love that you accessorized it with a particular sleeve, like based on a real woman.
Well, that's what you do. Yeah,
I think that's great.
That's what you do.
You remember, what woman was it?
We've done this so many times. I can't remember.
Okay.
Riley Reid.
It was either that or Sasha Grey.
But it died.
Yep.
I do have the VR headset, a magical invention that Ashley introduced me to.
So much fun.
But, the last time I turned it on, I screwed it up somehow. It's locked up. You know how your computer just doesn't want to play anymore? So one day your computer just stops being cooperative. That's kind of what happened with this VR, and I don't know how to fix it.
Did you ever use it for its intended purpose?
What's the intended purpose?
Yeah, he masturbated with it.
What's the intended purpose?
Like playing games or
No, I don't know how to play
TV
games
or something with it.
TV?
Yeah.
No.
I told you
that's gross.
My buddy is the biggest porn fan I've ever met. And he's into some really disgusting stuff, in my opinion, at least. But he's just really, really into it, and he loves to talk about it. Right? Hey, you got to hear what happened. This and that. Like it's a date, not a daytime, like a soap opera.
Like recapping an episode of TV.
Oh yeah, to tell me what's going on. And so, but even he said it's a little too much. The VR porn. It was almost too much for him. And I thought you had said something similar, Nick. Like you just weren't expecting what you saw.
It's scary at first, but you get used to it. That's all I'd say about it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
You backpedal.
It's very, it's, well, I mean, it's supposed to be, but I can't think of a better way to say it. Like, it's just in your face. You're right up in it.
I kind of treated it like most folks treat a treadmill. I was all over the effing thing for about a week, and then I
started hanging clothes on it?
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I switched it on, but when I did, it said things that I didn't understand, and I couldn't log into anything, so I just put it right back where it came from. People are texting in this and that about what I should do with my 2 days of free agency. Binge drinking in the garage while listening to the Eagles. That sounds great. Offended millennial Jesus, but I still got to come to work here. It'd be different if I didn't have to come to work. Then I'd binge drink in the garage with you and listen to the Eagles, but I still got this friggin' gig to worry about. Okay, on a wingman, you need the hall pass movie technique. Now, I watched that movie, which was really, really, really dumb.
That was pretty rough.
But I don't, what is the hall pass? Get back to us, Jackrabbit Jesus. What's the hall pass movie technique? You talking about going to Applebee's? Because that was the only funny scene. The only funny scene in the whole movie was when the one dude says, "Are you sure that the best place for this is Applebee's?" That was the only time anyone ever laughed at that movie. So what do you mean? What's the hall pass movie technique? Because I don't know it. But I think that's my best move. Grab a wingman who isn't nearly as attractive as me, and I'll give you a full report tomorrow morning on how we do. So, if Rob Page isn't available, Wapple, will you come with me?
You'll have to go to Stubb and Herb's tonight.
Well, you got a bar gig?
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. College girls.
Yeah, definitely.
In Minneapolis, what time?
6:30 to 8:30.
I'm just trying to come up with guys. I'm trying to come up with guys who are wildly less attractive than I am. So I got Rob Page, I got you on the break.
Yeah, three you lady killers together. Watch out.
Yeah.
What kind of comment is that now? You don't think that me? See, now I think me and Wapple and Rob Page could do more damage in this town than 5 Danas could.
Well, that goes without saying.
Over there making smart mouth comments, insulting our friend Rob Page. Didn't he, Josh?
He did. He kind of like went after all three of you and just in one little comment.
Yeah, he's feeling spry today, that Dana.
Medical device Jesus said what breaks the immersion when using that VR goggles to watch some porn, when you look down at yourself, quote unquote, in POV, and somehow you double in size. He said he laughed his ass off. Is that true? Does it really do that for you? That'd be sweet.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
No. He means Josh. What he means is the actor's penis is usually going to be larger than yours.
Oh, okay. I thought he meant like there was some sort of technology where it made yours.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Like those
that'd be crazy.
Like those Snapchat filters where all of a sudden you're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah,
it's amazing to me how that works.
Yeah, unless there's something I'm missing. But I think what he's referring to is, when you wear those goggles, you look down. Well, usually you don't have to look down. The actor, his dong is visible at all times. You see where I'm going with this?
Gotcha.
His, a.k.a. when you put the goggles on, your dong is visible at all times because that's where the ladies are going to gather. And, usually that dude is... Now, here's something I noticed in my brief but exuberant run through the world of VR porn while wearing those goggles. There is an actor who's kind of the VR porn guy. Did you notice that, Ashley?
No, I didn't.
In a lot of the movies, in a lot of the VR movies, at least, 2-3 years ago when I was using this, the same dude was the dude in all these different VR movies. Banging in a shower. It was the same dong as the guy who was banging on a bus, banging in a plane, banging in a football gym locker room.
So
same
that's all
dude.
you see, like you don't see his face or anything else.
Well,
it just looks like it's supposed to be you.
The abs down.
Okay.
Yes, it was the same dude. He had a very, what's the word I'm looking, distinct appearance. And I thought, this is his kind of interesting. He's kind of the VR porn penis guy.
Can you pick maybe you just answered the question. I was wondering if you pick your guy, like when you're playing certain video games and you just kind of scroll through and decide which character you want to be.
Choose your fighter.
You can personalize it.
Wouldn't that be something? Maybe you can. I'm just
Give
saying.
yourself a tattoo.
When I was just sitting there clicking on, okay, let's VR bang these 6 girls in a helicopter, right? Click. I thought, hey, that's the same penis from when I banged those 6 girls in a hot air balloon, or when I was in France, it was the same dude. So like this dude, I don't know what it is about him, whether it be his dong or something else. Maybe he's the only guy patient enough to wear all that filming equipment on his head and whatnot. You see what I mean? Because
that would suck.
That's what the dude has to be almost, not completely still, of course. He's still got to, fold, but he's got to wear all those cameras, and
that's got to be weird for the girl to look at that. Oh, I bet he looks like a dork.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, good point. She's really got to ask.
Let me tell you something, Waffle. They do a damn good job of pretending like they like him.
It'd be so cool if you could pick all the different features, like less pubes. No, more pubes. Then you could choose bigger this, smaller that.
I don't know.
More scars.
You have like an avatar saved or something.
Yeah.
The dude, great gig. He got a lot of work. At least if you went through the history of movies that I've watched, you'd say, wow, this guy's got a pretty steady gig.
Yeah, he cornered the market.
Yeah, he did. Like I said, maybe maybe he's the only guy he's the low man. I don't know. He's the only guy that can put up with wearing all that equipment or whatever, he has to do.
But you didn't mean not to, Jesus said. It's crazy. Nick is now the most tech proficient guy in the conversation. Well, this is something he's passionate about.
I suppose. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, there you go.
I've never even put the goggles on for anything. Nothing.
Well,
I never tried it.
Just the one time we had him here in studio, I threw him on. That was the only time.
It's really cool,
Yeah.
Wapple was talking about watching movies and, video games. Yeah, try that if that's what you're into. I never got involved in anything like that.
Yeah, I remember there were, when COVID was happening, they were selling seats. So you could get like a seat at the Timberwolves game and you could be watching it with your VR headset. So you would be in that seat at home.
You know what's scary is if one of you, I don't know if this is possible, if one of you went on a porn site right now and searched VR porn, right? Okay. Because you can watch these VR porn movies on regular edition. What do you call that? Standard.
Like what?
On your computer?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Right. I could, if you showed me 20 movies, I bet you I could pick that penis out of a group. You know what I'm saying? That
That's
dude.
impressive.
I could pick him out because that guy was in damn near every movie I watch, whoever he is.
Good for him working in this economy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He got the gig and he ran with it.
You know, a buddy of mine, we were with our wives, we were talking, and the topic came up of if our wives could pick our penises out of a lineup. And my wife said, yes, absolutely. His wife couldn't, and it stuck with him for about a month. I mean, it really bothered him that she's like, they all look the same. I wouldn't be able to tell.
Oh, no.
But
I could easily pick my boyfriend's penis out of a lineup.
Is it the blisters or what?
Oh,
no,
my God.
It's a birthmark. So
He's got a birthmark on his penis?
What a loser.
Pretty cool looking.
Cool looking,
Yeah.
huh?
Adds a little bit of,
Are you sure it's not like
different.
a herpes sore or something?
Yeah, I'm sure.
So your buddy still hasn't recovered from that, huh?
Dude, every once in a while he'll still bring it up. It bothered him.
That sucks.
He thought, we've been together over 20 years. You don't pay any attention to it because he's like, he went into descriptions of a lady's private parts. Everything that's involved said, I could pick it out. Just show me this. I could pick that out. He knows everything about her.
He could pick hers out easy, he says.
Any part of it.
He'll have to try to get past that. And it ain't going to be easy. All right, you're a great crowd. It's Monday morning. A little bit later on, of course, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will dive in here and talk about, we got all kinds of things. We got the Timberwolves, got their playoff matchup. It's not a good one, but they got their playoff matchup all set to go. Twins, this and that. It'll be a hell of a day. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
What companies would you want to work for? Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the prestigious Just Capital 2024 seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 in the banking industry and #1 for their ongoing commitment to workers, offering best-in-class benefits, including a minimum wage of $25 an hour by 2025. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I mean, every time, we love it every time our listeners text in to say hello. Just checking in. Doesn't have to be much. We just love it when you check in and say hello, tell us who you are, tell us what you're up to. Got a nice little message this morning, Josh, from Nibbles and Bites Jesus. And it was just a straight up check in. And he says, "Good morning, soggy bottom bitches."
Never heard that one before.
Yeah, it's a new one to me.
We dig that. We dig those kinds of check-ins.
Thank you for the lesson.
Anytime between 5:30 and 9, we're just sitting here, and we always got the text machine cooking, so.
We are soggy bottom bitches around here.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's a great way to describe us.
The soggiest of bottoms. And the bitchiest of bitches.
Here we go with our first crack at the stupid news for this week. And we're starting off with a kid that took things, I guess, a little too far while messing with his high school principal. Messing with the principal. Our principals in high school were dicks. We had a couple of them.
For us, it was the vice principal who was the one that would be a jerk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm kind of lumping them all into one, I guess. Yeah, they were all pricks. Principal, principal, vice principal, didn't matter. I mean, and now looking back, of course, maybe that gig turns you into a dick. dealing with high school idiots all day long. Maybe it turns you into a dick. But it was one of those deals where even when I was a high school kid, I remember telling myself, don't turn out to be an adult like that. So I thought they were pricks, but again, maybe we turned them into those people with our out of control behavior. I really enjoyed pissing them off. I did, because they would just get steaming mad. Smoke coming out of their ears type mad. This kid, here's what he did. 17-year-old goes to a school called Baldwinsville High School in New York. He created fake school email accounts and used them to pretend to be the principal, and then announced his resignation from the school. This is your principal. I'd like to announce that I'm retiring, kind of a thing.
I'm out of here, you soggy bottom bitches.
Right. That's a cute bit. Pretended to be the school principal and announced his retirement via electronic mail. The kid also used the fake email accounts to try and get one particular student in trouble. So this, an enemy of his, I would imagine. And he also tried to get personal information about another student. Maybe a chick, find out her address or something creepy like that. School staff recognized that the email accounts were fake skis. He also sent out a fax to the staff, pretending to be the principal.
Oh, good for him for knowing how to do that.
Knowing how to fax?
Yeah. I feel like most people don't know how to do that anymore.
Well, we had one in the building in our early years. I never learned how to drive it. Did you ever learn how to operate a fax, Josh?
Yeah, I used to use it.
Oh, well, yeah, you were...
setting up interviews and stuff back in the day, they'd always want faxes.
Yeah, right. I remember that fax machine was always pumping back and forth out here. I never knew how to operate it. But, you were a bigwig for a short period of time. We don't talk about that a lot. But you had a bigwig job around here for a while. So I bet you were always fingering that fax machine back in those days.
But you're right. When that thing... You'd come into work, and there'd be so much spam on it. Remember, it's just complete garbage that people would be texting in, or faxing in.
Junk mail in the fax machine?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, that's funny.
I wonder if other people used faxes in the past. Same thing. I mean, it would just be the dumbest stuff that was sent to us.
So not only did this kid, like I said, he used a couple of fake emails, he also sent out a fax to the staff, pretending to be the principal. He was caught after police saw that the kid put his own cell number on the cover sheet of the faxy fax.
Oh, come on, man.
He didn't look carefully enough. He accidentally put his own cell number, so that was the end of that.
I like it when people own themselves by accident. That's funny.
The kid was arrested. Now he's reached legend status at that school. Absolute legend status. He was arrested and charged with 1 count of criminal impersonation in the 2nd degree, whatever that means. He was charged with another count of criminal impersonation. That was one charge is for the emails. The second is for the faxes. They charged him separately for the different ways he communicated this false personality. Little troublemaker bastard was released to his parents, and the case has been referred to family court. Ba-dum-bum.
Boy, I used to love that show.
Me too. Bump. Hated the show.
Did you really?
Hated it.
Oh, no way.
Hated Judge Wapner. Hated that guy in the hallway. I hated every second of it. I thought People's Court was as boring as a set of balls.
I didn't know there were people out there that didn't like People's Court.
That was one of those universally beloved shows.
What was the one with the lady that was super mean?
Judge Judy?
Judge Judy.
Yeah. Oh, I love Judge Judy.
I could watch that sometimes, but man, was she always in a bad mood.
I always wanted to punch that Wapner in his friggin' jaw. He was a dick.
He could be.
I had friends who loved, when we were growing up, they loved People's Court. I hated when I'd go to one of my buddies' place and they'd want to watch People's Court. What are you, 70 years old? Turn this crap off. Isn't there a cartoon on around here somewhere?
Well, there were less options back then, that's for sure.
Well, that's true, but I mean, for Christ's sake, I would have rather watched PBS than People's Court.
There's Nick watching Reading Rainbow, his junior year of high school. Love that one, though.
Green show.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I don't know how you sat through that stuff. Well, I borrowed my car to my sister-in-law, and the insurance was in the glove compartment. I don't know how the hell you watch that stuff. But that could be the liquor talking. This next cutie pie here, a career criminal derelict by the name of Christopher Booth. He's from St. Louis, Missouri. He's in trouble again. What did he do now? This time he allegedly snatched a pile of what they call here luxury vibrators from an adult toy store. He stole luxury vibrators. 8 of them he stole. 8 luxury dildo vibrator combos.
Do you know what makes them luxury?
They are covered in hollandaise sauce. No, I have no idea.
I'm assuming they're smart devices.
Oh, you can Bluetooth it to your phone?
Yeah. Oh. There was a buddy of mine who, if we went to lunch or something, he'd be like, hang on. And he'd be on his phone. I assumed some sort of work thing, but no, he was programming vibration settings for his wife and so her toy. You could make your own.
Wow, that's next level.
Uh-huh. And this was many years ago. I can't even imagine where the technology is now at.
Yeah.
You text the wife, what are you doing at 3 o'clock this afternoon? Nothing. All right, I'm going to program you an orgasm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he would really put some thought into it.
Oh, it's
so romantic programming an orgasm.
Running a vibrator from across the room is fun. I tried that once or twice. Here, put this down the front of your drawers. What is it? Just put it down the front, right? You're hanging out with your girlfriend, and then wham, you hit her from across the room with the remote control. It's fun. All right, so these vibrators, luxury vibrators, were said to be worth a combined total of around $1,500 some odd.
Whoa.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. After he stole them, he went ahead and tried to sell them on Facebook.
That's where I go for all my sex toys, is Facebook.
That's alarming. No.
Yeah, I mean, who would buy some used sex toys from just some random guy on Facebook? Well, maybe he had a fake business set up or something, I guess.
Still, that's no... What?
Just picturing that meetup. Oh, should we meet at Starbucks and hand off the dildos?
Yeah, the Home Depot parking lot.
Hang on a second.
What kind of conversation do you make with the guy when you're exchanging the dildos?
Thank you.
Can you imagine trying to barter or something like that?
What do you have to do the rest of the afternoon? Just sell more dildos.
Hey, tie it to the top of the car and you got a deal.
You show up with a trunk full of dildos, you meet a stranger that you contacted on Facebook, and you sell them to him. You're wondering what the conversation might be?
Yeah.
Well, you got to crack the ice with a joke, so when you get out, you say, hey, I thought all the dildos were in the trunk of my car. Crack a joke. See if you can warm the guy.
I'm not fat. I'm aerodynamic. Jesus said a female friend and I had toys that we'd link together. She lived in Australia, so he had an orgasm with someone in a different hemisphere.
Whoa.
See what I'm talking about?
That's insane.
Good living right there.
All right, so these were expensive toys, $1,500 some odd. This Christopher Booth, he took them from a joint called Hustler Hollywood there in St. Louis. We had one of those here in Minneapolis. I did a gig there.
Oh, really? Hustler Hollywood?
Well, it was called the Hustler Shop. I don't remember if it was Hustler. If my buddy House is listening right now, what was the name of that joint we went to? I did a gig there. They opened up a shop in Uptown. Pretty close to Liquor Lyle's there. What is that, Hennepin Avenue?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't last long. I thought it was just called the Hustler Shop, and they had wall-to-wall dildos, vibrators, rubber fists, leather hoods every day. We hung out there one night. Maybe House is listening. He was with me. And we bought the biggest, fattest damn dildo you've ever seen in your life. It was insane. And then we screwed it to the hood of our BIR party vehicle.
Oh, cool.
So when we drove around the campground at BIR, that big friggin' rubber dong would just be swinging around. It was massive. This Christopher kid, well, I don't know how old he is. He didn't make much of an effort to be subtle with his heist when he stole these dildos. He grabbed the vibrators. He just grabbed them up from a display. He put them in a white plastic trash bag, and then he ran like hell.
No planning whatsoever.
Employees told police they recognized him because he had been in the store a day earlier and had argued with them before being asked to leave. You know how you know when your life has become a mess? When you can't help but get in arguments at the dildo shop. But that's how they recognized him. He was in there making trouble a couple days prior. He also got recognized pretty easily because of the giant neck tattoo that he wears around town, or anywhere he goes, I guess, for that matter. It's a tattoo. He has a giant 314 on his neck, which is the main area code in St. Louis. You know I love that area code gimmick. I've told you that story before.
So dumb.
That was one of the most confusing moments in my life when I first met someone with the area code tattoo gimmick happening. I'll tell you about that in a minute. One more note on this numbskull thief. Like I said, the final dead giveaway for Christopher, the guy who committed the crime, was when he tried to sell the rubber peckers on Facebook. He did.
I do like it if you go up north and then, as a disparaging comment, some of the old-timers will call you a 612er or something like that for folks that live up north, coming up from the city.
Hell yeah.
A lot of times it's preceded by friggin' or something worse, 612ers.
My story, I hadn't heard that before. Up on Lake Vermilion, and we decided we would golf on the ice. Take some hockey sticks and some tennis balls out onto the ice and do that Chili Open, Snowball Open type gimmick. You West Metro people know what I'm talking about. So I was out there with an ice auger, just augging holes like a bitch, trying to come up with 18 of them, right? And then we're all going to go out. And I had a buddy with me, and I noticed there was a DNR snowmobile, I believe. Yeah, DNR guy in a snowmobile way off in the distance. And I said to my buddy, I said, this guy's coming over here. I said, he's watching us right now. I'm putting 18 holes in the friggin' ice, just two of us. He's gotta come over here. And sure as hell, the guy comes over, and he says, what the hell are you guys doing over here? I said, well, I'm punching holes in the ice. We're going to golf on the ice. And he shook his head and he goes, friggin' 612ers. And I'd never heard it before. It was killing me. It was very funny. But the area code bit in the early 2000s, that's when I remember that becoming a thing. I was totally unaware of the area code bit. Suddenly there was this new trend where some people were putting what I thought to be a bizarre amount of emphasis on simply the town where they were raised. I was unaware that this was a thing. So I met a guy, and after a while, we were talking. At one point or another, this was at a bar gig. At one point or another, we had run out of things to talk about, and I noticed some numbers, big numbers tattooed, I think on his arm. And I don't remember the numbers. 414. I think that's Milwaukee. I'm not saying that. 414. And I said, well, what's that about? And I'll never forget it. He goes, dude, that's my hometown, bro. That's where I'm from. 414, dude. And I was so lost. I kept waiting for the rest of the story, but that was it. He was just so enamored, I guess, with his hometown that he tattooed it on his body. I mean, I understand hometown pride and all that, but I'd never heard or seen it expressed like that. I was very confused.
Yeah, I was confused when I was confronted. I was in L.A., and I was wearing a Twins hat, and someone came up, and he's like, 612, man, 612. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, oh.
No, it's a 619. Are you talking about the wrestling move?
Booyaka 619.
So you said, huh, and he said what?
Minnesota, man.
Oh, the area code, well, Twin Cities at least, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like an odd thing. I mean,
I was so thrown.
I have an idea for a tattoo for myself. I'm going to get 3432. That's my pant size, bro. That's my waist sick. And my leg, dude. 3432 for life, or at least until I gain some weight, I guess. My pant size. We were talking porn earlier, weren't we, Josh? We were talking about VR porn.
Sure were.
I was all over it.
I learned a couple things from you guys.
I was all over it for about a week. I told you there's one dude whose penis is featured in almost every VR porn I ever watched. After a while, I said, hey, that's the same dude. Interesting that's his gig. More porn conversation here for you. maybe I'm in the minority, I don't know. But I'll tell you this much. Current events have never had a bearing on my porn intake. But it says here that eclipse searches skyrocketed on Pornhub during the eclipse last week. And this is just one example that always seems to play out this way. Searches for football-related porn is huge on Super Bowl Sunday. Santa Claus porn on Christmas, MILF porn on Mother's Day, DILF porn on Father's Day. But that's never been my thing. Any of that? You guys get, hey, it's Valentine's Day. We better find some, I don't know, romantic porn.
No, I couldn't care less.
I wonder if that's for daily porn viewers, just trying to spice it up.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Like if you watch so much of it, you just think, well, I'll just get involved in whatever day it is.
Today's the day the Titanic sank. I'm going to whack off to some Titanic-themed porn.
I bet there is some.
Yep.
But here's the deal, okay. Pornhub says last Monday's eclipse impacted their site's traffic with a huge increase in searches relating to the eclipse. That's so odd to me. The word eclipse saw the biggest search increase, followed by solar eclipse and then eclipse sex. After that, beyond that, viewers got a little more creative with their searches. Some tried out eclipse my penis.
Other penises do that to mine at the urinal. You just can't see it.
Some folks searched witch eclipse and eclipse glasses. They wanted to see someone get folded while wearing it. I don't know.
Yeah, while wearing those ugly glasses.
Again, the current events porn thing never been anything that ever affected me whatsoever. The numbers they say means that the total eclipse put lots of people in the mood to bump or at least molest themselves like animals. As you might imagine, there isn't a hell of a lot of eclipse-related porn available on Pornhub for weirdos. So they were kind of grasping at straws or grasping. Pornhub says its overall activity dipped during the eclipse. Well, yeah, people were outside, sitting on lawn chairs.
I wonder what the busiest and least busy day for Pornhub is in the calendar year.
It's got to be around the holidays.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Busiest? Don't know. Least busiest? The day you die. The day that you... All right, who wants to go ahead and tell me, and anyone else who doesn't know?
It looks like December 27th
Jesus
is the
Christ.
most...
Scared the living hell out of me. I mean, I'm right about... That scared me to death.
Yeah,
what?
I just found it. December 27th is the most porn is viewed on that day.
Oh, so everybody's family's left town. You're kind of back. You're off work.
Holidays.
You're on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the lowest?
Makes sense.
No, just told the highest.
Gotcha.
Oh, this is an interesting question. More anxiety than hair, Jesus. Is eclipse sex where you start with the lights on, then turn the lights off for 4 minutes, and then turn them back on again?
4 minutes? Wow.
That's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
I mean, I wonder, you get back to us. Did you hear that somewhere? Did you make that up? Because that sounds like a cool nickname for... Sure, let's have eclipse sex. We'll have the lights on, turn them off, turn them back on again. That's great. You're a very bright guy.
He is. He is hilarious.
Not the best looking guy, though. Another guy that I should have as my wingman. Not the best looking guy, is he, Josh?
I find him to be attractive.
Oh, here we go again.
Well, no, I'm not being nice. I'm not being nice. I do.
Here we go again.
Have you seen his fiance?
No.
Never saw it.
Hubba hubba.
Who wants to go ahead and tell me, and anyone else who doesn't know, what the game I'll get there. Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh? Mm-hmm. What is that now? Go ahead.
The duel.
Nice.
Is it kind of like a knockoff version of Pokemon?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, so you guys know this bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
It was a TV show, card game.
Is it like considered anime?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of. It's got those kind of vibes. I loved it though. I had so many cards growing up, and then we sold them all at a garage sale.
Make any money?
No, I could now if I still had them. So whoever bought them is probably lucky.
This is funny. Sorry. I'm not trying to switch topics, but you know how we were talking about the area code tattoos and how at first we were thrown by, what do you mean? So what? You know, the area code tattoo. I always thought it was funny. Concussion-prone Jesus texted in to say he met a guy once who had the outline of his home county tattooed.
Dakota County for life, bro.
That's my county, dude. That's the county where I'm from, bro.
You don't even understand.
That's awesome. The outline of the county that you're from. I have pride in my county. I do.
You see that guy who's got, Dakota County tattooed, and then another guy takes his shirt off. He's got Hennepin County tattooed all over his chest.
Bro.
They have to fight.
Well, they don't have to fight. What they're going to do is they're going to, what did they call that back in the day? Let's step. Let's...
Like a dance-off?
Yeah. What was that? There's a term for that.
Know.
There was a term for that.
By the way, Wapple, you were wrong on the biggest day for Pornhub. Texters are saying Palm Sunday. That's the day everyone's masturbating on Pornhub.
I swear to God, there was a cute, hip name for dance-offs there for a while. Someone text in. I know someone's got to know it. Anyway, yeah, I think the Dakota and Hennepin County guys are going to dance it out. I don't think they're going to fight. All right, Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a card tournament in Japan where they play Yu-Gi-Oh! And last month, they had one of these tournaments. It smelled, the players involved smelled so bad that one player had to up and drop out. She couldn't stand it anymore. Everybody reeked. And it says here that this isn't totally out of the norm. Gaming tournaments have earned a reputation for their players showing up filthy.
Oh, come on. Just a little bit of deodorant, some body spray.
Stomp the yard? Is that the dance-off term?
Wasn't that a movie?
That was a movie. I
I'll get
love
back
that
to
movie.
you. I'll get back to you. The gal who quit, she jumped up on Twitter and said, I left halfway through because I couldn't stand the smell. She said it was no laughing matter, and she urged future players to wash their ass before showing up. She said, there are some stinky female players, but the men are in a class of their own. Served. You get served. That's what I was going for.
Oh, I thought that was more like just a diss. So that's a dance thing?
I thought it was. I could be wrong.
The movie you got served is a dance-off movie.
Yep.
That's the term I was looking for. You try to serve somebody. Okay. And again, this is apparently not an isolated incident. Hygiene, or lack thereof, has been so much of an issue at Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments, or whatever the hell you call it, that Konami, is that the maker of the game?
Mm-hmm.
They've gone ahead and made a rule that players who show up smelling bad or wearing dirty clothes could be penalized. Is that a strategic thing? I'm going to smell so bad, I'm going to force someone out of here?
That's what I was kind of going for.
I don't know how you could stand yourself.
All right, Dana, we mentioned Konami. Go ahead, do it.
Up, down, left, right, B, A, select, start.
It was killing you not to do the Konami code, wasn't it?
I was going to let it go, but since you gave me the window, I went for it.
It's time to get a grip. The problem, again, isn't limited to Yu-Gi-Oh! Last year, and I hope I'm saying this correctly, tell me if someone called Smash Pro Cosmos, I think that's a person, tried to find deodorant for himself at a game tournament because his opponent said he smelled like straight-up garbage. So I think this is a professional gamer that calls himself Smash Pro Cosmos. He smelled so bad, his opponent said, look, you stink, and he was looking around for some speed stick to try to continue on the...
Oh, that's nasty.
You should
Just
try to
BO.
You should try to get an endorsement with like Old Spice or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Just spray your opponents.
That'd be tough. Be tough to get through. There's nothing worse than hanging out with someone, talking with someone who just has that pure, full-on, old-school body odor cooking.
I can't do the smell of BO. That's one of the grossest smells.
It's terrible.
So bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
Ugh.
I mean, it's one thing if you smell like a food, someone, oh, God, you smell like garlic. Okay, that's bad. But just pure 100% human body odor,
Ugh.
tough to take. beer breath, cigarette breath. There's many different things that'll back you off, but just that old school pit funk, that ain't right. So there you go. Oh, let me see what this listener says, because he says he's been to one of those tournaments. Magic playing machinist Jesus. He's been to Magic tournaments, whatever that means.
Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
Card game.
There were over 5,000 people, and he said it smells funky.
Really?
Hey, you get a bunch of, I don't know, yeah. Maybe it's any time you get 5,000 people in it. I don't know.
Well, now that I think about it, I got one buddy who's really into Magic cards, and I'd probably put him at the low end of how good my friends smell.
Well, okay. I just about put it out there that anytime you get 5,000 people together, it's gonna. But that can't be true. I used to go to concerts, hockey games, basketball games. Very rare that I go, oh God, someone smells. So maybe gamers, if you're going to be good at these card games, maybe you forego showering quite often because you're sitting there playing, right?
Yeah, don't have time.
You video gamers will sit there for 37 hours, right? So maybe it's just they're not big on washing up.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
No balls, 2 strikes. I wonder if something happened to his wrist on that swing. We've certainly seen this before.
We got hit by a pitch on his thigh.
Not a place where you're expecting your own foul ball.
He's fine. What they call it, testicular contusion.
That does not sound funny.
No, it's not funny, but he's fine.
Oh, man. Don't let him make you feel bad about it, Ron Washington. It is funny.
He laughs. No, yeah, it's not funny. It's not funny. He's laughing at something else.
Ron Washington, the skipper for the L.A. Angels, he's a great guy. And one of his ball players, a dude by the name of Nolan Shawnewell or something, it doesn't matter, some guy from the Angels, fouled a ball. He's up at the plate, fouls the baseball straight down, ball bounces up, and crushed his testicles. They're calling it a testicular contusion.
Oh, that's not where you want a contusion.
Ron Washington, after the game, is asked about it. He can't help but laugh. That's awesome.
That's a dude.
Dude, the kid's going to be fine. He got hit in the balls. He'll be fine. Ron's funny. All right, I'll move on here as quick as I can. Oh, real quick. We had a conversation going about body odor, didn't we, Josh?
We did.
It's terrible. Body odor problems at a gaming tournament. These folks sit down and play these Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that what it's called?
Yep.
And there was a story about how everybody reeked. Everybody smells. Body odor was so bad, one competitor had to leave. We've gotten texts on it. I told you, Magic playing machinist Jesus said he's been to those tournaments before and everybody smells bad. He says they're mostly young dudes. Most of them don't have girlfriends to inspire them to shower. That's what he says.
Fair enough.
Okay, I can buy that. Some are saying it's strategy. You're going to outlast everybody. You're going to, you try to get into their heads. You smell like garbage. People, they're going to up and leave. Classic Country Jesus said he works in construction. He says he can't believe how many dudes haven't heard about showers and deodorant. As a matter of fact, he said he took a guy to the gas station on break a couple months ago and made him buy deodorant.
Just hose him down out back.
Timberwolves got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, they do.
Before they start the playoffs on Saturday. The Phoenix Suns just routinely kicked their ass, and the Suns did the same to them yesterday. And now guess who their first opponent will be in the playoffs? It's going to be stinking Phoenix. Starts on Saturday. They got to do some work because they got to figure out how to beat this ball club. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Twins. They had a lead that went away yesterday. The Pigs are in Los Angeles tonight. Some dude won that golf tournament. Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver will be here in a half hour to talk all about it. But you can't go anywhere because Josh's news is coming up next.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the Triple Savings Spring Sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, The Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
Work hard and save your money. That way, when you're old like me, you can buy the things that only young people can enjoy.
Squirrel watching.
You heard it here first. Get yourself a squirrel cam, spend $30 a month on nuts, and you'll be at early retirement before you know it.
No, Piggy, this is the road to a podcast nobody listens to.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X.
This is a tragic day for us. My heart and prayers goes out to the family members of those that are injured, as well as those that are injured.
One person killed, 13 others injured when a stolen semi crashed into the Department of Public Safety office in Texas.
It's crashing into DPS, bro. Crashing into DPS. Roll everything to DPS.
Police said the incident was intentional and was committed by a suspect who had been denied a commercial driver's license at the location the previous day.
The suspect did come to the DPS Burnham office yesterday at approximately 3 or 4 p.m. where he was denied his commercial driver license.
At one point, the 42-year-old tried to back up and crash into the building again, but thankfully he was stopped by first responders.
The friggin' guy killed people?
Yeah, one person. So far, hopefully some of these others that were injured are able to survive. But yeah, because he didn't get his driver's license the day before.
What a bitch.
He had to take it out on everybody else. A Florida man found himself behind bars after he was caught on camera taking out his frustrations on a sheriff's office patrol car. A lot of people taking off their frustrations. Taking out, that is, their frustrations on other people.
He just beat the hell out of a car?
He beat the pee out of it. Deputies shared surveillance video.
You're so wholesome.
You are the bad boy of radio.
I know. Another word came to mind, but I stopped myself. They shared surveillance video on social media that shows 58-year-old Eric Johnson whacking and kicking the park squad. Johnson was ID'd by deputies who said they were very familiar with him due to a lengthy rap sheet, 90 charges in his history. When they asked why he beat the bejesus out of the cop car, he said he was just taking out some frustrations. 9 Minnesota police agencies are getting some new squads, hopefully difficult ones to beat up, specialized pickup trucks to their fleet of vehicles, allowing officers to ride higher and stealthier than in a typical squad car or SUV, and provide a better view of drivers who are distracted, not wearing their seatbelt, or engaging in other dangerous driving behaviors.
We don't have to crane our necks to see that they're holding their phone in their lap, and that's where most people hold it, is down in their lap. You have camera along with the license plate reader. Monitors for all 4 cameras are up front here by the driver.
Preliminary figures show distracted driving contributed to nearly 30,000 crashes in Minnesota from 2019 to 2023. Of those, 29 deaths occurred and 146 people suffered life-changing injuries.
You're cognitively, physically, and visually impaired, and it's like driving drunk. They've given statistics that being on your phone and texting is like driving at a .08.
PDs in Blaine, Brooklyn Park, Eagan, Elk River, Grand Rapids, Orono, St. Paul, and the Olmsted County and Washington County Sheriff's offices will be getting those pickups. Law enforcement agencies around the state are participating in a distracted driving extra enforcement campaign through the end of April.
Cool, new cars.
Yeah. I hope they jack them up.
Oh, yeah.
Lift them. Really pimp them out.
I heard some departments are getting new SCMOTs, too.
Some SCMOTs. That'd be sweet.
State, County, Municipal Offender Data System.
A man was arrested Thursday after becoming stuck, jumping a ship, and then stealing another vessel right after taking a decommissioned New York City fireboat for an overnight cruise on the Hudson River. Fireboat! The man commandeered the fireboat, known as the John J. Harvey, by untying it from its mooring off the west side of Manhattan, according to authorities, who said the 130-foot vessel, which now serves as a museum, earned local acclaim after it was used to rescue survivors of 9/11. Built in 1931, the Harvey assisted in several dramatic marine rescues. It was retired in 1994, but called back into service on the morning of 9/11 to help pick up survivors and pump water onto the site. The boat's caretakers offer occasional free public cruises along the Hudson River.
And this guy just got drunk and...
He decided to just take it out for a cruise, eventually getting it stuck and then jumping on and stealing another vessel.
How did he get it stuck?
I don't know. Too close to shore? I don't know what he did. A man was shot in a vehicle in the pickup line, of a Florida elementary school Friday afternoon, and it appears to have been an accidental shooting. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office responded to the area at 1:20 p.m. for reports of a person being shot after a firearm went off accidentally.
Speaking with neighbors, those who I have chatted with say this is usually a very quiet area and they're shocked to see this happen.
Officials are conducting witness interviews as they continue their investigation to determine what exactly led to that incident.
There's a quiet area in Florida?
I guess so, yeah. In maybe a retirement home or something. In more school drama, a school district in California has agreed to part ways with a substitute teacher who was arrested at a high school last month following a suspected overdose. March 14th, around 12:19 p.m., officers responded to the school after a call came in reporting an unresponsive teacher in a bathroom. Police say it was later determined to be an overdose.
My teacher was talking about it in class today. He was talking about how it's like one of the weirdest things he's seen in the school.
Apparently, the teacher was in possession of both meth and fentanyl.
God dang.
It's awful.
That did the trick.
Oh, my gosh.
A drunk New Hampshire man is facing several charges for shooting his gun in frustration after no one stopped to help him when his car ran out of gas. How do you prevent something like that? Witnesses said 41-year-old Richard Rodriguez was shooting a firearm in the breakdown lane Thursday night. He told officers he ran out of gas and tried calling people for help, but no one would respond, so he opened fire.
Northbound right-hand side, males outside the vehicle. With a handgun on the side of the road, shooting into the ground, to the grassy area.
Rodriguez told police he fired his gun twice to get someone's attention and hopefully get help. He was charged with reckless conduct, felonious use of a firearm, and driving under the influence.
Boy, this guy's really good under pressure, huh?
Yeah, smart. He makes good decisions.
What are you, a 9-year-old?
And police in Michigan said a motorcyclist arrested last week after taunting officers led them on a high-speed chase, did wheelies and donuts during that chase, and was caught because he ran out of gas.
Trying to antagonize me.
He's doing a wheelie on a freeway. Very nice. He might be out of gas. Looks like he's given up.
I like that they appreciate the
Yeah, me too.
The 26-year-old was arrested just after midnight Wednesday. An Alabama man hit his roommate with a pipe after an argument over a pastry. Thursday, April 4th, EMS rushed 63-year-old Billy Joe Maynard to a medical center with injuries including 3 broken ribs and a ruptured spleen.
He'd called medics out due to an assault that took place due to an injury he had on his abdomen area. Medics got on scene, observed a softball-size bruising on his abdomen side area.
According to police, while at the hospital, Maynard told investigators he was hit with a metal pipe by his roommate, 59-year-old Daryl Miley, after a heated argument about an alleged Pop-Tart theft.
It was over food items, specifically a Pop-Tart.
Then about 12 and a half hours to the west in Texas, there was another pastry pummeling as a man assaulted a retail employee with Pop-Tarts, and now a 33-year-old is in jail. Police said the assault by Pop-Tarts happened at the Walgreens in Austin. According to arrest documents, a store employee accused Jonathan Steele of shoplifting, ironic, leading to an argument between the two in the parking lot. Police said video captured the moment the altercation escalated and Steele threw Pop-Tarts at the employee, hitting them in the collarbone and causing a minor injury.
I thought a guy hitting his roommate with a pipe was a little over the top, but then once you said it was Pop-Tart related, I totally understand.
You don't like it when somebody steals your Pop-Tart?
I wouldn't be. I'd find a pipe.
Tell me about how a Pop-Tart hurt someone's collarbone.
I guess it was the box of Pop-Tarts.
Oh!
That's what I picture, at least. But what do I know? A man in Canada named Justin Rybicki was receiving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of prank pizza deliveries to his home and workplace for the past 6 months. I didn't know that was still a thing. At first, it seemed like a simple mistake. But when Rybicki checked his email, he saw a confirmation order from the restaurant. The delivery started in November, and despite attempts to report the issue to police and even change his phone number, the unsolicited deliveries persisted.
It wasn't me that ordered the pizza, so that's when we called the head office of Pizza 73 and told them that anyone with the name Justin Rybicki cancel the orders.
So they did at Pizza 73, but then they moved on to other pizza places like Domino's. The situation escalated to the point it's considered a case of fraud, harassment, and mischief, with the suspects using technology to manipulate the caller ID to appear as Rybicki's phone number.
Poor guy.
They are not letting go.
While he suspects a disgruntled former co-worker of his may be involved, police continue investigating the case. You know, it's kind of funny. He at one point said, well, I know it's not an ex-girlfriend because I've never had a girlfriend.
Oh, man.
I don't know why he threw that in there.
Somebody give this guy a hug.
A healthcare provider who specializes in acupuncture was fined after forgetting about a patient with needles inserted into their body. In what may be one of the more unusual cases, since Iowa's original Board of Medical Examiners was founded in 1886, the State Board of Medicine said the acupuncturist inserted needles into the patient at his office in Rock Rapids, Iowa, then left the office and fell asleep at home. The patient waited over 2 hours for him to come back, and then eventually took the needles out on his own and called police. That's one
hilarious.
patient.
Yeah.
I would not wait that long.
Sitting there going, well,
I'll give him
what
another.
do I know about the process,
maybe
right?
something happened.
I'll give him another hour. Let's just stick around. Never had acupuncture. Anybody here try it?
Nope.
No,
that scares me.
I know people who have.
Was it to kick something?
It
Or?
was to try to quit smoking those cigarettes.
Did it work?
No.
Oh, didn't know. House Bill 3098 could make common STIs criminal offenses in Oklahoma, possibly turning thousands of sexually active Oklahomans into felons. This would criminalize intentional or reckless spread of STIs, carrying 2 to 5 years in prison for violators. But experts believe the bill may worsen the spread of STIs by deterring people from getting tested or treated.
We know the problem's out there. We don't want to scare people and make them go underground. We want them to know what their sexual health status is, get tested, get educated, so we stop the spread.
Oklahoma ranks 11th in the nation for chlamydia, number 5 for gonorrhea, number 4 for syphilis. HPV is one of the infections HB 3098 would criminalize. And according to the Oklahoma Department of Health, 85% of Oklahomans will have an HPV infection in their lifetime. According to the National Cancer Institute, more than 90% of sexually active men and 80% of sexually active women will be infected with HPV in their lifetime. That's insane. If signed into law, the act would go into effect November 1st.
Boy, they like to bump down there in Oklahoma, huh?
Yes.
Apparently. They like to bump.
Yeah, that's nuts. So, that
would not be good.
Right. So if you've got something, you better say something. They're going to throw you in jail, at least in Oklahoma. Seth Rogen's 42 today. One of Ashley's favorites.
Love him.
Yeah, I know you do. I thought he was older, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
He's 42.
He looks terrible.
Welcome home to Georgia Jesus and Carolina Jesus, both back in town today. Happy belated birthday to the one and only Boobarella, who turned 55 Saturday from her loving farm boy. Happy birthday to offended millennial Jesus. Happy 10th to Devin with the maddest hops from the family. And happiest of birthdays to Addison Marie turning 12 from Dual Exhaust Jesus, Mom, Grandma, and Rachel.
Oh, Grandma.
Yeah, Grandma got into the mix. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
I love this dude. I mean, this dude is electric.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The WNBA draft is this Monday, and Iowa star Caitlin Clark is expected to be the #1 pick. Here to comment is Caitlin Clark.
You make a lot of jokes about women's sports, don't you, Michael?
I wouldn't say a lot, but it's not on the regular.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot.
I did write some jokes, and it would mean a lot to me if you read some of them.
Well, the Indiana Fever have the first pick in this Monday's draft. A reminder that Indiana Fever is a WNBA team and not what Michael Che gave to dozens of women at Purdue University. Netflix's top new show is Ripley, featuring an eerie, unsettling performance by actor Andrew Scott. Critics say it's the hardest thing to watch on Netflix since Michael Che's special Shame the Devil. This year, Caitlin Clark broke the record for three-pointers in a single season, and I have three-pointers for Michael Che. 1B, 2 funnier, 3 dumbass.
Thanks for doing that, Michael.
Yeah, no problem, and good luck in the WNBA. I hope you have a great first season.
Yeah, that's Caitlin Clark. She made an appearance on Saturday Night Live over the weekend. She told some Michael Che Michael Che jokes because he's always telling women's basketball jokes. She got him back for some of his smart-ass comments. She did. Hi, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, fellas?
Good.
Good. Very good.
I think one of the best things on Weekend Updates is when they write jokes for each other. Because sometimes it is so brutal.
They go after each other.
Colin Jost gets it the worst,
He does.
usually.
Yeah.
He has to say some terrible stuff.
I know you've played me some of that audio on Monday mornings. And, yeah, they're not shy, those two.
No, they go after each other pretty good.
Well, boys, hope you had a terrific weekend. By God, I really do hope that you got to start somewhere. And for the Timberwolves in the playoff, they got to start with a club that continuously kicks their asses.
Boy, I guess.
It might end right where it starts.
The Phoenix Suns.
Any matchup was going to be difficult, but this one is going to be super tough.
I've said for the last 2 or 3 weeks, this is what they don't want, and this is what they got.
To get ready. They got about a week to get ready to. They got to figure out a way to beat this club. It was the Suns and the Pelicans that worried me the most. Well, they got one of them. They had a slight chance to snatch that number 1 seed yesterday if they would have beat Phoenix, but they got pumped.
Well, the Suns had a lot to play for yesterday because there was potential that they would have fallen into the play-in game had they lost, so they needed to win that game.
Damn near any team would get pumped when you turn the basketball over 20 times in the first half.
Yeah, no kidding. Just I mean, with all of it on the line yesterday, that's what you get out of the gate. That's so frustrating to watch. So disappointing. Hopefully it's a one and a done deal. Hopefully we won't see that starting in the postseason. But that was disappointing yesterday. That first quarter was about as bad as it gets.
Oh, I think it was. Was it the most turnovers they've ever had in a half?
It might be.
Or maybe the final total was the most they've had in a regular season. I don't know, but it was. If it wasn't record-setting, it was near that. How many times they were turning the ball over. And the Wolves had a great year. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if I were to pick out negatives, it would be turnovers. They give up too many offensive rebounds and they foul too much.
Much standing around.
But boy, it was bad yesterday, and they fought like hell to stay in the ball game, but the damage had been done.
I've seen some numbers posted on Anthony Edwards' numbers against the Suns this season, and they figured something out in how to guard him, and that's a problem. And they've got to figure out how to rectify that before the weekend, because I wrote this down, in 3 games against the Suns this year, he's 13 for 42 from the floor.
Oof.
3 for 11 on threes, 10 turnovers, and he's only averaging 14 points a game in those 3 games.
Yep.
So they've got to figure out a way. I mean, they're obviously doubling him. They're obviously figuring out a way to contain Gobert a little bit. I mean, Carl is going to be the key in this series. He's got to step up. If he's able to step up, they should be okay. But they're going to shut down Edwards. They're not going to let him beat them, and they've shown that in the 3 games that they've played them.
And the scary part about Phoenix is early in the year they were not healthy. They did you could not figure out exactly what they were going to look like or feel like. But in the last month they have started to play. They got healthy and they are starting to play as a group. And it's scary because they've got so many weapons, and they're deep on the bench, and they can go big, they can go small.
They've got veteran guys who have not only been to NBA Finals but have won championships. This isn't an inexperienced team. This is a very, very experienced team they're playing, and it's dangerous. It's kind of scary. They've got to figure it out.
Can they beat the Suns in a 7-game series?
Having said that, I think the Wolves can certainly do this. There's just no question. They're a very good basketball team, but they've got to play better than what we saw yesterday, but better than what we saw down the stretch a little bit in some of those games too. And it's a whole new level. This is a whole different deal now. So
you saw that yesterday. They were playing on a different level. Phoenix was playing on a different level defensively too. They need to win the first 2 games at home. They absolutely need to win the first 2 games at home. If they split those first 2 games, they're in trouble, I think.
Oh, geez. Jesus isn't worried. He says yesterday was the Wolves clearing the cannon before the big date.
Okay. All right.
They'll be fine, says oh, geez, Jesus. They start here Saturday at Target Center.
I'd love to hear a reporter ask Chris Finch that question, like phrase it that way.
Do you feel like this was...
Oh, yeah, actually. Thanks. Great question. You're right, actually.
Yeah, we will be making some better decisions.
I mean, I agree with Randy. They do have a chance. They're a really good team, but
they've got a great chance.
This is going to be a long series. I don't think anybody should expect this to be over in 4 or 5 games either way. It's going to be a long series.
Phoenix is very good. Very good. and it will be a tough, tough series. So the Wolves finish with their second best record in franchise, as Denny Green used to say it, history. Second best record in franchise history. 56-26. Only the 2003-4 team with Kevin Garnett and Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell and Wally Zerbe, on and on. Only that club had a better record at 58-24. That club went all the way, as you remember.
To the Western Final.
Maybe some of you don't remember. They went to the Western Conference Final and lost to the Lakers. So here's how the bracket plays out in the NBA playoff. I'm still a little confused by the play-in game. The number 1 overall seed in the West turns out to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they'll play, I don't know, the Pelicans. What?
Do you want me to explain this? How this works?
Before you do that.
What?
Here's the problem, too.
Oh, no. I didn't know we had a problem.
There's a second problem.
What is it?
You get by Phoenix, you're going to get Denver in the second round.
Right.
You're going to have to go through them eventually.
That's the problem. This is but in the second round, I'd rather play them in the Western Final than have to deal with them in the second round. It's just falling to that third spot, and Denver being at 2, that does not help the Timberwolves at all.
Well, I don't know. Like Dana said, I mean, you got to play all these great teams no matter what. Who gives a rat's ass what they...
I totally understand. It's not who you play, but when you play them is really the key, and I would rather wait and not play Denver until I absolutely have to.
You know when I'd like to play? You know what I think would be the best time for the Wolves to play Denver? When the Nuggets all get diarrhea.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or maybe 1996 would have been a good time to play the
It's
Denver
when
Nuggets.
you play them.
So how does this play-in thing? Okay, the Oklahoma City Thunder are the number 1 seed. I forgot how this works.
I'm going to explain the Western Conference here, okay?
Well, let me just tell you who's in there in this play-in deal. Pelicans, Lakers, Kings, Warrior.
Okay, so the Lakers play New Orleans on Tuesday. The winner of that game is the 7 seed.
Gotcha.
The loser of that game plays the winner of the 9-10 game, which is Golden State versus Sacramento.
That's right.
So,
Thank you, Brad Ryder. I forgot how that works.
The Golden State-Sacramento deal, they have to win 2 games to be the 8th seed.
Right, okay.
And if no clear winner emerges, they'll have sack races on consecutive Sundays.
They'll have a cage match on Sunday.
Potato sack races? Then you got the Nuggets are the number 2 seed, the Wolves 3, and as we know, the Suns will be their first-round opponent. The Suns got the number 6 seed. The 4-5 matchup is the Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. In the East, you got the Celtics that landed the number 1 seed. The Knicks are the 2 seed. The play-in teams are the 76ers, Heat, Bulls, Hawks.
That Heat 76ers game is going to be a war because nobody wants to be the 8th seed because Boston is so far and above everybody else in that conference. You know what I mean? They would rather be the 7th seed and play the Knicks. They'll have a decent chance against the Knicks. So that'll be a war, that game, that Miami-Philly game.
The Knickerbockers end up with the number 2. That's kind of cool. I mean, I'm not a New York. I root against New York teams, but it's just, it's interesting to have that. The Knicks have been, mostly terrible. 3 versus 6 set up in the East is the Milwaukee Buck and the Indiana Pacer, and then the 4-5 is Cavaliers, Magic.
All those teams are bunched together. There's only 3 games between the Knicks and the play-in game, and the Knicks are the 2 seed. Yeah.
And the play-in games start tomorrow night?
Yes. Yeah. One of the conferences is tomorrow.
Cool.
The West is tomorrow and the East is Wednesday.
An Allen Iverson statue has been unveiled outside the Philadelphia 76ers practice facility. So there's a joke in there somewheres, isn't there?
Practice?
Right.
Outside the practice facility?
That's right, Randy Shaver.
I wonder if that had anything
practice facility.
What if that had anything to do with the decision to put it
That's
there?
what I was wondering.
I hope so.
A bronze statue of Iverson's iconic crossover dribble move. That's what they threw. He's making a move. He's making his crossover outside the team's practice facility in Camden, New Jersey. He won the Rookie of the Year in '97. He was a 4-time scoring champion. He won the MVP in the year 2001. I became an Allen Iverson fan after he retired from basketball. Every time I see him interviewed, he comes off like the most loving, humble guy you would ever. Every time it seems to me when I watch videos, every time he runs into an ex-teammate or even a guy he played against 20 years ago, he cannot stop hugging and crying. He's just I don't. He just seems like the softest sumbitch, and I like him for that.
I always liked him, but I became an even bigger fan when that story came out that he spent like $75,000 at TGI Fridays one night.
Oh, really?
He did what?
He spent $75,000 at TGI Friday.
That's incredible.
On other people?
Yeah.
Oh, just he's buying
for everybody.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought maybe
That's cool.
he just was eating a lot of mozzarellas.
Boy, that'd be a record.
Oh, man.
A lot of baby back ribs.
Pray for that
Or no,
guy's
that's
toilet
really
feeds $75,000 worth of Mossies.
So here we go. Basketball. Good. Give me the ball because I'm going to dunk it. It starts tomorrow night.
I wish the first round was 5 games, though. I'm
I
sorry.
do too.
It's
too much.
Of course. Hockey, basketball, first 2 rounds should be
used
5
to be
games.
used to be that way.
Yes, it used to be.
You can
that way.
you can get a clear winner in a 5-game series,
Of
at least
course,
initially.
but go ahead and tell them why it's not a 5-game series.
Money,
That's
TV.
right.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals is scheduled for September 19th.
It is.
Of 2025.
Boy, I bet Finchy and the guys are going to be watching some video and trying to draw up something new.
Yeah.
You got to draw up something new. I like the comment by Carl in the paper, and then we can close out on the Bubba basketball. I should have set this aside. Brad, you have an email?
Yeah, no, I keep forgetting to turn my computer down when I'm in my office.
Sounds like
when I
somebody
come
got
on.
an idea. That's
I have to say that Carl Anthony Towns' comments here in the St. Paul paper were kind of inspiring. He said, we've got 15 guys. This is not a one-man sport. This ain't golf, he said. This is basketball. We have a great team, great guys in this locker room. All of us are selfless and willing to do whatever it takes to win and bring wins to the fan base here in Minnesota and give ourselves the best chance to do something special this postseason. I like that kind of talk.
Sure.
Sit down, Carl, with the coaches and everybody, and let's work something out. Let's get a plan to beat the Suns.
He can give a good quote, but it's kind of on your shoulders now.
You hate Carl.
I do not. I love him.
Every time.
But it is really up to him. I mean, he's got to come through.
You got to come through at one point or another, Brad. You're a lot of talk.
This is
Wapple
Brad.
said.
Brad, you're not going to be able to win.
I'm not going to be able to.
He's
You're
all
right.
fired up.
I'm quoting Wapple. Wapple said you're all talk.
There's no way you're going to win this discussion
I
today.
know.
He's just fired up.
Yep.
Twins had a nice 3-0 lead yesterday in Detroit, but that fell to pieces in the 8th inning.
Yes, it did.
Tigers scored 4 runs in their half of the 8th, and they beat the Twins 4-3, so the series ended up being a split. Caleb Thielbar making his season debut, and Griffin Jacks ran into some trouble in that 8th inning.
Yep.
Oh, let me tell you how it broke down. There was a dong, there was a couple of singles, there was a poor play in the infield, there was a bloop single, and the lead was gone. Which was kind of a shame because Bailey Ober looked pretty sharp. He did, that Bailey Ober. So they open a series in Baltimore tonight.
Ooh. That'll be fun. I love the Orioles and what they've done. It's fun.
Louis Varland scheduled to start against an Orioles left-hander named Cole Irvin.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of a... I don't know, for whatever reason, that made me think of Ernie Irvin. For you NASCAR fans.
Sure.
But it's not Ernie, it's
not
Cole Irvin. Carlos Correa now is injured. Man, they're piling up the bodies.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be long, and we're going to see Walker Lee and all these other guys from St. Paul.
I think Walker Lee's hurt too.
I think he is too, but hopefully he'll get healthy. But what I'm saying, Brooks Lee, all these guys, Brooks Lee and...
Brooks Lee, yeah, sorry.
You were thinking of Walker Lee Ashley.
I was, but the Lee kid is
the young
injured,
guys.
too. Yeah.
It's not long before we'll see the young bucks because everybody's falling down hurt. Now, Carlos Correa has an oblique strain, and you got the Strudel is still sitting down. How do you call him again? Royce Lewis. Thielbar's back, so the pitchers might be coming around, but they're piling up the bodies. If you just want to get on your cell phone and text us right now. We didn't give this away already, did we, Josh?
Nope.
Text the word dugout, D-U-G-O-U-T, to 651-989-9393 for a shot. Listen to this now. Tickets to the Twins-Tigers Friday night at Target Field, a Friday night game. That's pretty cool.
Those are the best.
Friday night games are fun. Prize is furnished by the Minnesota Twins. Good luck. Again, the word is dugout. Text it to 651-989-9393. I like Friday night ball game. We covered this earlier, but I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of the fact that a Los Angeles Angels ball player by the name of Nolan Schanuel, or I don't know how the hell to say this guy's name. It says here, yesterday's game, the Angels were playing the Boston Red Sox. He suffered a testicular contusion.
He's fine. What they call it, testicular contusion? That does not sound funny. No, it's not funny, but he's fine.
Okay.
He's gonna laugh, but he's not fine.
That's Angels manager Ron Washington, who couldn't help but laugh after the game, discussing his player having his nuts turned to dust by a baseball. That's why Ron Washington rules. And then the reporter says it doesn't sound funny to me, and Ron says, well, it's not, but he's fun. Shut up. Don't have some fun. Don't mess with Ron when he's trying to have fun.
It's a better him than me quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This poor kid, this Nolan whatever, he fouled a pitch straight down. He's at the plate, of course. He fouls a pitch.
He wasn't wearing a cup.
I don't know that.
Wow.
Again,
he plays first base. You'd think he'd wear a cup.
We have the cup conversation every baseball season.
I know we do.
We do.
It's just amazing.
He fouls the baseball straight down. It bounces up. It turned his bag into soup.
Maybe on that kind of thing. That's you're protecting a little bit harder to protect from the backside up, right?
The backside up.
As opposed to straight ahead.
Yes. We know what you mean. Yes.
There's like that weird angle that, very rarely.
Yes. There's always a little cargo hanging out the back.
And I don't think you forget the first time you realized that.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes if you don't stuff it in just right.
Yep, you're right. You're right, Josh. Can you tell the story of the first time you realized that you could catch death from behind?
It was somebody jokingly kicked me in the butt, but they just went a little low, and I didn't realize that could happen.
Right.
You protect the front. You don't think you got to protect back.
And Ron Washington finds all this stuff funny too. So,
and the older you get, the easier it is to get hit from behind.
Yes.
I must say.
We don't need to feel bad about this because if Ron laughs, we can laugh. Effing Ron Washington. Man, when he pulled his hamstring at the Randy was there.
Oh yeah, I was umpiring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
At the old timers game.
Oh no.
God, that was beautiful.
Oh my God.
Ron, that was. Oh my God. Yeah, that was Ron cramping up right there. The first year at Target Field, for you people who are too young to remember, the first year of Target Field, they had an old timers game. They had Gaetti and Herbeck and Blylevin.
It was awesome.
It was incredible to watch. And Randy was an umpire. He was a third base umpire.
I was, I was around the infield. Yeah.
Oh, did you go all the way around?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
And at one point there was a shallow pop-up, and they put Ron Washington out in center field. Yeah, at the time he was probably 50 years old or something, and he comes running in to field that pop-up, and his hamstring just bit him in the ass.
Oh. The trainer comes running over just with a pack of cigarettes for him.
Everybody was done. All of his players were they were watching,
right?
Because he was managing the Angels or the
Rangers.
The Rangers.
The Rangers were in town, so Ron was, yeah.
And so they're all watching, and they're dying laughing.
Oh, God.
I bet. Dying laughing.
And Ron came back to the dugout, and he basically said, sit down and shut up. That's not funny. You got to be able to find video of that.
Oh, my gosh.
You just watch Ron son of a bitch, his hamstring he hadn't run like that in 25 years.
Oh, man.
Well, speaking of the Texas Rangers, one of their pitchers suffered a terrible injury. Brock Burke is the name. He got all pissy Friday night. He had a bad outing pitching for the Rangers. He punched a wall.
Oh, boy.
Knuckle push-ups.
Yep. He punched a wall, and he's on the IL.
You never win those fights.
God dang.
Yeah, you never hear about the wall being out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Effing guy punched a wall.
Oh, man.
And, his team lost, too, so that always makes it look even worse.
Mm-hmm.
He's not been, here's the bad news for whoever this Brock Burke dude is. He He hasn't had a strong year so far, and they basically said, when he's healthy, there's no guarantee he's going to have a spot. Sorry, dude. We brought up a younger arm who doesn't, punch walls, and a kid who can control his temper. And this is a video maybe you'd like to see. Do we have this up on our website? This New Jersey high school baseball team who used a hidden ball trick to win a ball game?
Yep, that's up there.
Check that out if you like. One of these deals where, all right, Delsea was the name of one of the teams. Delsea High School had a 4-3 lead. They're out in the field. They got 2 outs, 2 runners on. The pitcher pretended to try and throw the runner out who was leading off at second base, and then he and everyone else on his ball club made it like he tossed it over the second baseman's head into center field. The kid at second bought it, and then the pitcher runs over, tags him out, game over. I know
on the runner, throw to second, a fake throw, a real throw, went into center field. A hidden ball trick. We were all fooled, and the game is over. Oh, my goodness.
Really wasn't that exciting.
Not at all.
That guy was totally confused.
Yeah, he was. He didn't know. It's difficult to explain. Just check out the video. It's kind of cute. All right, you guys go ahead. Stevie Stanhausen, Stanley Sauerkraut. What was the name of the...
Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler. People have been wondering who is the next star in golf, and maybe they just haven't realized he was here the whole time. His stardom confirmed.
All right, Sasha Sussbaum. He wins the...
He's so good. It's just crazy.
Is he good at golf?
Yeah.
He's so amazing.
He's just very thorough. He's very consistent.
Yep.
Doesn't get emotional. Just really makes great shots. Makes them all look easy. That's really what he does. He makes everything that he does look easy when you know it's not. Yeah.
He's been the number one
really
player in the world for a while now, and I think this is his second win at the Masters the last 3 years.
Yep.
So he's kind of been on top of the game, on top of the golf for a while. But like you said, he's just so very, I don't know, down to earth is not the way to describe him, but he doesn't draw a lot of attention to himself like some of those other people do. So people were probably looking for that next star, but like they said, he's kind of been here all along.
It says here his final score was 11. He only took 11 swings. Is that all it took
that's
for
all
him
he
to
needed.
win the...
Yep.
Tiger Woods, here's what it says. Tiger Woods knocked somebody out with a golf ball. Like it hit somebody, a fan in the head, and they were knocked out.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he took like an iron shot and then just drilled it into the crowd. You just see their feet kind of go up in the air.
Did they die?
I don't think
No.
they're dead.
I don't think so.
They had to put their dog on, though.
hit a few people, too.
Yeah, you talk about a meltdown.
Oh, my.
Oh, my God. I've never seen anybody melt down like that.
What happened? He just started to suck, and then he lost
couldn't make a shot, couldn't make a putt, couldn't make a hit it off the tee. He just, and we've all, if you play golf, you have those days. I have a lot more of them than most. But I'm telling you, he was one of the leaders to start this whole thing and just completely melted down.
Have you guys ever seen anyone get hit in the skull with a golf ball and then they go to sleep for a little while?
No.
I bet that would be awesome.
I've been hit in the stomach.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, one bounce off the tee.
Oh, yeah. I've been hit like in the arm before by my boyfriend. He hit me. That was cool.
How did you get hit in the stomach? Did you turn around when they yelled 4 and got hit?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I was down it was an opposite fairway too, Brad.
Oh, okay.
So it was an opposite fairway. We were actually coming up the other way.
Okay.
And I had my back turned as I was looking at, the shot that I was going to hit, and I happened just to turn around. I was lucky that the ball didn't hit me about 8 inches.
Tallywhacker.
Yeah, 8 inches down. Yeah, one bounce right into my stomach.
I'd like to see that, too. All right, I got a text message from HVAC Delivery Jesus. Okay, I think I looked this up. And this is, Josh, you know how I lose my cool about the clickbait, right?
You do, yes.
Do you already know where I'm going with this since we're talking about golf?
Is it the parachute pants?
Yes. HVAC delivery Jesus. Hey, a golfer had parachute pants on at the Masters. I'm not trying to start trouble with you, HVAC delivery Jesus, but I looked this up. I thought, what are you talking about? Over the weekend, I looked it up. Parachute pants. The guy was just wearing baggy pants.
Yeah, it was Jason Day. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
It's clickbait, HVAC delivery Jesus. Quit falling for that.
Yeah, they weren't parachute pants.
No, parachute pants were the ones that MC Hammer ran, or where Brad saw him in concert.
Yeah, I did.
Brad
Met
was wearing
Center.
a pair that night,
Yeah.
too.
Brad went out and bought some.
I probably did. I probably wore them to the concert.
God, I would love to see a photo of that.
Tired of that clickbait. The Pigs are in Los Angeles tonight to play the Kings. The game will be broadcast on television, starts at 8:30 on ESPN. Now, again, Wapple is hosting a public viewing of the dead bodies. Where are you tonight, son? And is this nightmare finally over? Is this the last time we got to pump your little stupid bar gigs?
Yeah, this is the last one tonight. We'll be at Stub and Herb's from 6:30 to 8:30. We'll be there with Coors Light, giving away Wild Sweet tickets for this Thursday.
Huh?
We'll be giving away Wild Sweet tickets for this Thursday.
Big one on Thursday. Is a must-win, would you say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Kraken.
Man. Christ. All right, so the Arizona Coyotes are relocating, right?
Yep.
That's the word.
Okay. I did see a quick article on the team names that they might go with. You know, someone said the Grizzlies. Others are saying, keep the Coyotes name. There's plenty of Coyotes. But there was one that I saw on the list that I had to share with you. And because it's ridiculous, I guarantee this is the one they're going to be going with. You know, we already got a totally unnecessary team in the NHL called the Kraken, right? So why wouldn't this new version of this hockey club be the Utah? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
The Yeti.
What?
But the mascot's going to be cute at least, but...
Hey, welcome to the broadcast tonight. It's the Utah Yeti and the Seattle Kraken. Gordie Howe is digging his way out of his grave to kick people's asses at this point. But since that's the worst one I saw on the list, I guarantee that's what it's going to end up being. The Yeti.
Still be better in the wild.
It's a close fight.
Yeah.
The Yeti. All I can picture is didn't Scooby-Doo and the gang get chased by a Yeti?
I believe they did.
Yep.
Any creature that attacked Scooby and the gang should not be, but they'll go with it. The University of Denver hockey team made history. Saturday, they beat Boston College 2-0 in the men's college hockey final. So that's the Denver Pioneers' 10th NCAA title. They were tied with Michigan for the most all-time national championships at 9, but there go the Pioneers at the top of the list. And who the hell's idea was to play that game at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever?
Was it really?
Yeah. I went to the bar Saturday night. We have our little billiard tournament. I won some money just in case you're worried about it. And I said, I said to somebody, put the television on. Let's watch that meaningless national, whatever. Let's watch a hockey. And it was over. They were handing the trophies out.
God.
It was 7 o'clock on Saturday. It was over. Anyone know what the thought was behind
that was TV again, That's when ESPN said that they would have it on.
Yeah,
so
they
that's why it was on.
NBA stuff on that night.
Oh, so they figured let's put the sport that no one's going to watch at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay, I get it.
Right.
Yeah, sure. I got you on that. I do.
TV rules all those decisions.
Yeah. Juju Smith-Schuster, an NFL wide receiver who plays for the New England Patriots. It appears that he accidentally sent a picture of his balls and penis to social media.
Oh, boy. How do you accidentally do that?
I don't know.
It's really hard, actually. It's
Get
pretty
your
hard.
phones out. I'll show you.
The blurred version is on 93x.com, but I saw the
Prude.
unblurred version.
Oh, you
so
saw
weird.
the unblurred version.
It's so weird.
Is it clearly a set of testicles and a pee-pee?
Yes,
Okay.
very, very clearly.
It's a photo of him sitting in a car, some woman sitting in the passenger seat, and his nuts are out of his pants. He deleted the photo, I guess, but not before it went viral.
Jujus.
Couple of them.
I like the way the article closes. It says the Patriots are hoping for much more from Smith-Schuster in 2024, but definitely a lot less than what they saw on Sunday. You need to show us a little more, but not as far as you went back in April. We don't need to see that
That
again.
is a headline writer's dream right there.
Yeah, it looked like he was just, taking a picture of his gear. He was going to send it to, some other lady that wasn't in the car with him, but he sent it to the wrong vehicle, right? How do you call it? He made it public or whatever you social media dorks do all day long. Whatever the term is. Nuts and everything.
Sucks.
The wiener and the frank, or the franks and the beans.
How the hell did you get the frank above the beans above the? I don't know. Do you want to talk about this Vikings guy who played here for 20 minutes?
Who?
Aaron Henderson.
Oh,
brother VJ Henderson,
the linebacker,
former linebacker. I just talking football so dumb, but I just throw it at you anyway. This Aaron Henderson decided to talk about why the Vikings can never seem to get her done and go all the way, right? How come the Vikings can't win it? He said he's under the belief that it's due to there being too many nice guys in the Vikings locker room. Okay, he says, this is what he tweeted. Folks don't want to hear this, but as long as the Vikings locker room is filled with nice guys, they ain't gonna win. Attitude reflects leadership, and the Vikes are a nice family-oriented organization top to bottom. All right, he goes on. There's more. Someone brought up old Zimski, my Eskimo brother, Mike Zimmer. They talk about how he was more of a firm leader than current head coach Kevin O'Connor. Henderson commented on that. He said, Zim wasn't a dog, he was just a dick. What do they mean? He wasn't a dog. What does that mean?
Like just with an edge or an attitude?
A mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll get after it kind of thing.
Yeah, get after it. That's
So it is worth noting, the story tells me here, that the only experience that Aaron Henderson, whoever he is, had with Mike Zimmer was when he was released by Zimmer about 10 minutes after he played here. You know what I mean? He got some DUIs and he got... so maybe he's not the source you would...
I would wait to hear from someone who spent more time here and made more of an impact here as to what the Vikings' problems are, as opposed to a guy that was here for a short period.
Also, you may be talking about, the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years? What about the other 47 before that?
Exactly, yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. I hear you. I do think that part of my problem with that Captain Death Rocks is that he was too nice of a guy. Jesus, go out, get drunk, get laid, smoke a cigarette, for God's sake. You're too straight-laced.
And he also doesn't play defense, so that's a problem, too.
Now, here we go. This is much more interesting. Much more interesting. Nike. How do you say it? Nike has been criticized for the skimpy Team USA women's track and field uniforms that they made for the Summer Olympics. Very skimpy.
Know. How could they get even skimpier than what they've been wearing?
Right.
Well, listen to this.
I mean...
They're skin tight anyway.
Yes. And they're supposed to be that way so that there's...
They're cut high enough in the thigh. I mean, it's just... I looked at the outfits. It's like that line from Slapshot when they're watching the Extravaganza. And Mo Wanchuk says, they should cut the uniforms a little higher in the thigh so you can see more ass. One of the ladies from Team USA said about these outfits that they're going to wear, apparently going to wear at the Summer Olympics. One of the ladies said, my hoo-ha is going to be out. Is going to be out.
Might get some more viewers.
There was a woman, I can't remember her name, but she's on the team and all that, and she said that there's other options, like that they have like multiple options they can actually choose from if they want to.
There's not just one standard outfit?
And then she also said that she prefers to have as less clothes as possible, or as least amount of clothes as possible.
Sure.
Because of how much she's sweating and all that kind of stuff.
So Nike's been accused of sexism. Critics have said, hey, did you ask any females about this before you put these outfits together? They're the ones who got to put them on their bodies and run around in front of.
I can't imagine that Nike would not have consulted with track athletes prior to creating the uniform.
Well, they say they did. Nike says,
yes, of course they did.
There are probably some athletes who like not having much on. They maybe think it feels better that they have us on. Who knows?
Interestingly enough, this gal's name is Lauren Fleshman. She's a retired U.S. world champion runner. She said in an Instagram post, professional athletes should be able to compete without dedicating brain space to constant pube vigilance. The men's outfits, I guess, are much more conservative. And here's one more great quote. Great quotes in this story. Someone else involved threw this into the mix. If the labia are hanging out on a still mannequin, what do we expect to happen to a moving person? The outfits make you wonder how the hell anyone's going to keep their gear. Ass cheeks are instantly going to be completely exposed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But a vagina is going to fall out if they're running over hurdles and jumping over, what do they call this thing, Josh, where they do this?
Oh, the pole vault?
Yeah. This could be something, boys. It'd be like
it does look ripe for a wardrobe malfunction for sure.
It'd be like when they throw women's beach volleyball on the TV at the neighborhood bar. There's always some old timer who's like, turn off baseball. Baseball's too boring, right? And then the bartender starts flipping through the channels, and he goes by that women's beach volleyball, and the old guy goes, oh, hang on a second. Hang on. What's this? What is this? Ah, man. When does that nightmare begin, those Olympics?
In July.
Yeah, late July.
Late July.
Are you pumped?
No. Doesn't matter to me. I'm retired.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
I don't
He'll
care.
be gone.
Well, now that we heard about the outfits, you might watch a little bit.
Well, I might watch.
He's not going to be working anymore.
I don't have to stay out up till 11 o'clock at night.
Did that factor into your timing decision that you wouldn't have to be on the air
Certainly
at midnight?
did, Brad.
Yeah.
You'll be out of there. I forgot.
Between
You're
that and the election, I made a conscious decision.
Good call, Smart. Can we all retire before the election?
Can we all move before the election?
I assumed you were going to say state fair, but you're right. The
that
election
too, Josh.
That'd be
3
worse.
for 3.
Randy's kind of like outline 2024 at the beginning of the year. Nope, this is the year.
Doesn't CARE have an alumni section in their barn that they could bring you back?
The only way they could bring me back is if they somehow captured me in the wild and brought me in a cage. That's it.
Dude.
Because I'm not purposely going back there.
He's just rabid like rabies.
Cleaning himself. Lucky bastard.
That's not foam, it's a milkshake.
Speaking of going back, you want to go back to this new Salt Lake City, Utah hockey team that they're getting in a few days?
Yeah.
The Arizona Coyotes are going to be the Salt Lake City something or another. Now, Medical Device Jesus texted in. He said this is dumb. I don't think it's dumb. He says the new hockey team should be called the Church of Latter-day Skates.
Oh, my God. Well, if they had a lot of Mankato players on it,
Right.
that would fit.
That's fantastic.
Stormin' Mormons.
I do like the Stormin' Mormons.
Now, Josh tells me this is kind of funny. I never got a chance to see the video because my computer went sideways, but there was a UFC fight over the weekend, and one fighter knocks the other out, or knocks him down, and that first fighter thought that second fighter was going to stay down. He does a little celebrating, but it wasn't over. Dude gets up and kicked his ass. So I guess the premature celebration is somewhat enjoyable to watch, Josh?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I kind of feel bad for the guy. It looks like he knocked the dude out, but he instantaneously turns around and kind of he wasn't celebrating like
Nothing
over the
obnoxious.
top. Yeah,
No, he
not
wasn't-
obnoxious, but he thought that's it.
He didn't break into a stupid dance or anything.
No,
He
nothing
was
like
just-
that. He wasn't jumping on the ropes. He wasn't going crazy. It was just enough where he thought, okay, I got this, and then the dude came back and whooped him.
All right, so we can't poke too much fun at the guy. But those kind of situations can be a lot of laughs. I like some of the times you'll run into a video on YouTube where, what do you got, those crazy bastards who will race around for days on a bicycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they get about, 100 feet from the finish line, and they let go of the handlebars and kind of coast and pose for the crowd, and then some other schmuck just wing.
Yep.
I love
Those
that.
are good.
Some little sumbitch just whips right past him and wins the sumbitch. Seen motorcycle races that end that way. Guys blowing kisses to the crowd. The dude in second place just guns it, passes him at the last second. All right, before we get out of here, finally, a gender reveal event that doesn't make me think that the adults involved are just a pile of self-absorbed asshats. I hate that gender reveal. We're having a boy. No one cares. This one, finally, a live wrestling gender reveal party. This was so much fun to watch. Is this up on our website?
No, I didn't get that one.
What?
Wait, maybe it's right here.
This is the only one we care about.
No, I'll get it up there.
A man recently organized a stage wrestling match for his pregnant sister's gender reveal party. They put it on in somebody's driveway. They got a real ring. They hired a couple of local wrestlers. The fight was between two very mismatched wrestlers.
Very much so.
One was a big burly dude wearing pink trunks. Okay, he represents a girl baby. And then a little man, a little person wearing blue. He represents the boy. If the pink won, that means it's going to be a girl, right? The blue wins, it'll be a boy. There were ladders, there were tables, there were steel chairs involved in the brawl. The bigger guy in pink, he appeared to have the victory until the little man broke a pop bottle over his head. The man in blue did the Undertaker bit where he rose straight up. When you're watching the video,
it's so funny.
The laugh that someone unleashes when the little man sits up, they hit the Undertaker music and everything, and he sits straight up. One person in the crowd laughs, and it makes it perfect. But the little guy in blue did some kind of moonsault, beat the guy in pink. So these people are having a boy. This is a great video, great way to spend 3-4 minutes if he's got nothing else to do. You guys got to see it. You don't have the audio of when he rose up, do you, Josh?
No.
Oh, right, because Ashley screwed up.
Well, the audio wasn't much. There was really nothing to the audio.
Well, I know. I guess I would just that guy's laugh was so good. Little guy just.
If you could go, there's a few of these. If you can find some on on YouTube. Excuse me. There's some pretty funny ones out there.
So there's been multiple wrestling matches.
Yeah, there's been a few of these in the past.
Oh, I didn't keep up with it. I thought this was the only one in history.
Well, now you got something to look forward to.
Yeah, I've seen one. People were wearing those giant sumo suits.
Yep.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, that's funny. All right, did I miss anything, boys?
WNBA draft tonight. I think you already mentioned that off the top.
I heard Caitlin Clarkson has slipped to 4.
Well, we've got the links have the 7th pick. There's a chance.
8th pick. They traded it.
Oh, did they? Okay.
They traded their 7th pick away and are sitting at 8 tonight.
There's a chance that Angel Reese would be available at 8.
Yeah, I saw that in the mock draft.
I don't think that's going to happen tonight.
Don't think so.
Neck like a stack of dimes, arms like buggy whips. Jesus has a problem with that wrestling video. He thought it was predetermined.
Yes, exactly.
He didn't think that was a real.
It wasn't a legit athletic competition.
That wasn't a real fight at all.
That made my day yesterday when the dude did the Undertaker sit straight up, come back from the dead bit. That was great. By the way, left-handed specialist Jesus has texted the show. We were talking earlier about why haven't the Vikings won the Super Bowl yet. Well, left-handed specialist Jesus has 3 reasons that his dad always notes. You want to hear the 3 reasons why left-handed specialist's dad says they never win the Super Bowl?
Yes, sure.
Number 1, more injuries than any other team. They have a lot of injuries. Number 2, the refs are against them. And number 3, the announcers are against them.
Joe Buck's always had it out for the Vikings.
It's a complete crap.
That's what he said.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Kevin Millar, we're all paying rent in Ohtani's world, right?
And the Dodgers world. Game is healthy, game is good. And, I get asked a lot, is that good for baseball? Yeah, it's good for baseball. This is definitely the team to beat because that should be your next correction, Richie, is this World Series a bust for the Dodgers and Dave Roberts?
Hell yeah. Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
All right, here's the deal. It's Monday morning, 8:30 here on the 93X Half-assed morning show. We're trying to take it slow, so nobody pulls anything. I hope everyone's doing all right. We certainly do. What was the deal here, Josh? Earlier in your news report, you were telling us about STIs being like a wildfire in the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, they're going to... You could be a felony if you knowingly transmit some sort of STI, like chlamydia, gonorrhea, which Wapple we know has.
I had gonorrhea.
Admitted that on the radio.
If you knowingly pass on some of these crotch rot STIs, you could be charged with a felony.
Yeah, 2 to 5 years.
Oh.
And the concern is that people just aren't going to get tested anymore. That's what some people in Oklahoma are worried about. Like, I've got a lot of
going la 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 la.
I've got a lot of drips. I got a lot of itches. Things hurt. Things smell. But I don't want to get checked out because I don't want to get in some trouble here.
Right. You don't want that paper trail.
No, I mean, obviously, you should do the right thing and let folks know. But they're saying you could go to jail if you don't say something.
I see where folks are going with that about they're afraid no one will get tested.
And they lead the nation or they're in the top 10 or 11 of Oklahoma, of a lot of different STIs.
Give me the, what does the I stand for?
Infection, I believe.
Infection.
Isn't it?
When did it change from STD to STI?
I don't know.
Or are they different?
Maybe they are different. I guess I'm not sure. That's just what they're calling them here.
I'm hearing more STI than I'm hearing STDs. Don't hurt yourself on that. That's just me trying to figure things out. The STI craze in Oklahoma. That's really effing interesting, even hearing it the second time around. Got a text message from a listener who they seem to think they know what the hell's going on and why the STIs are spreading like a sumbitch in the state of Oklahoma. It's Air Filter Jesus, and he says it's likely centered around a military base there called Fort Sill.
Really?
He says, when I was stationed there, I couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting someone who was carrying around a hog infection of some kind.
Oh, what goes on there?
Well, they hit the town, right? The boys go hit the town when they're not performing their duties, and it's a bang fest. And everyone's, you're probably becoming Eskimo brothers quite quickly. It's probably not the biggest town.
Yeah.
And it just kind of spreads out. Makes sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what Air Filter Jesus says. He says everyone down there at Fort Sill should be wrapping it up, but they're not. All right. Good luck, I guess, with that situation.
All right, the brother and sisterhood has checked in on STIs and STDs. STIs can be cured. STDs can't, according to the brother and sisterhood.
Damn. Isn't that something? All right, here's the deal. While we're talking about sexual things, I was reading something a day or two ago about, the wording's a little confusing. I'll help you out. The topic is the weirdest ways folks got laid or tried to get laid. And what they mean by that, some of you might be thinking, what do you mean? Weird? Would I put on a clown mask or something? No. What they mean is you did or said something that you normally wouldn't in order to draw interest from the person that you were trying to get naked with.
Here's $100. Let's go.
That's what I mean by the weirdest way you got laid or tried to get laid. You did or said something that you normally wouldn't in order to try to draw their interest. Oh, I can't say that I ever... Well, I can think of a situation where it wasn't that I was trying to get laid. I was actively dating this woman. But... two situations where I was actively dating them. It wasn't where I was trying to have sex. But I agreed to go to a couple of bad concerts is as far as I could go with that, just off the top of my head. Well, one of them was because I don't listen very well, where my girlfriend asked me if I wanted to go see I heard her say the Bryan Adams concert. And I said, well, yeah, I like Bryan Adams.
I know where this is going.
I like when he comes off with that song about how he's going to run to you. I like that.
Yep.
I like when he comes off with that song about the knife. He's cutting things like a knife. Mm-hmm. So I heard the lady say, you want to go see Bryan Adams? And I said, you effing bet your sweet little behind. But it wasn't Bryan Adams. It was Ryan Adams.
They're much different. Much different.
Yeah.
So there I walk in, and I'm kind of looking around, and I'm saying, well, this doesn't look like a classic rock crowd here. The hell is everyone? Kind of looks like, I don't know, a college vomited into the venue.
Yeah.
Everyone looked like a 19-year-old. Okay, maybe Bryan Adams is drunk. Maybe he has a new hit single that the young people... No, it was a completely different dude. It was some dude named Ryan Adams. I'd never heard of him. Never heard of him. And I hated it until I found out, Josh. This was after the fact. I found out whoever this Ryan... Does he still make records? Anyone know?
No, I have no clue.
Okay. I found out I hated the guy for the poor concert he put on for me when I was expecting to see Bryan Adams until I found out his favorite hair metal song of all time. I saw this in an interview. His favorite hair metal song of all time is Love Kills by Vinnie Vincent Invasion.
Really?
And anybody who loves that song is a friend of mine.
That is a great song. That's cool to hear him say that. That's not like... You'd think he'd throw out, Home Sweet Home, like if he's pretending to love a band or a song like that.
Love Kills, Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Look it up. It's a great song. So has anyone sacrificed themselves in that way to get laid? You kind of made yourself out to be this person when you're really not. You
kind of like you said. I would certainly, especially in a new relationship, or even in one with my wife, I'll do things I don't want to do for them. I mean, maybe that's in an effort to continue to have sex, but as far as like trying to make something happen right that second, I can't think of anything.
Right.
I can't wait to go to the winery with you.
Ooh, did you say Nelly Furtado? Let's go.
Whoa.
I mean, yeah. It's tough to say. I think I've mainly kept up, an honest persona over the years. I do. I don't think that I ever just completely became a different person. Yes, John.
Here's a good one.
I got one. You pretended to like me to get to my sister.
That is I pretended to like her to get to you.
And it's haunted you now for almost 30 years.
No
You're
way.
stuck with me now.
Other way around. What
did you have there?
This person says, I know a guy who faked an English accent to get laid.
I've done that.
He ended up knocking her up and finally had to come clean.
He got her pregnant?
I guess. Well, then you can't keep pretending you got that accent for that long.
Oh, that's a disaster.
That sucks.
Oh, what do you mean let's hear your fake English accent.
It's not very good, but I do. In a loud bar, you can kind of convince somebody that you're actually British.
That didn't sound British to me at all, actually.
And you got action from that?
And then she found out that I didn't actually have a British accent because she called me a couple days later and went to voicemail. Hey, you've reached Dana. Leave a message at the beep, and I'll get back to you.
Oh, it's my roommate. He left a message for me. We went to the Mall of America once at the Everything But Water store. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I don't know if it's still there. But a couple of guys I was with pretended they were Australian, and the girl was going along with it and eventually said, yeah, just so you know, I went to high school with you guys. She was a year younger. That was awesome, watching those two get owned like that.
That is awesome.
Ashley, you got no stories? You're just sitting there.
No, I really don't.
What about the other way
You don't
around?
really need to lie or anything.
Do you think a guy has done something weird to try and court you?
Nothing on the top of my head, really.
All right, here's a sampling of what folks said on the godless internet. Something that they did or said that they normally wouldn't in order to draw interest from somebody. Okay, I drove an hour each day to take my dog to a dog park because there were lots of gorgeous ladies there. Became a dog dork, more or less, because there were gorgeous... More dog-related stuff. Chatted with a lady is how it should have been stated here. Online. She finally agreed to go out with me. She told me ahead of time to pick her up at her house, so her dog could get a look at him and get a sniff of him. She only... she trusts guys that much more if her dog likes them, okay?
Yeah.
The dude, before he went to pick her up, he claims he smeared raw hamburger on his shoes.
That's so smart.
It is.
And the dog loved him.
That would get me. I just thought of one I think that has been done to me, especially first dates, is I think a lot of dudes would say that like they love playing pool and that they're good and stuff because it'd be a easy first date. Like, we can go to the bar and shoot some pool if you want. And then they would come and play, and it would be awful, like god awful.
And they'd only want to play one game, and that's it.
Yeah, and then they'd be like, should we make a bet on it?
Hot girls said solving a Rubik's Cube is attractive, so I took a whole weekend to learn how to do it.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's commitment.
He goes on to say, I couldn't wait to show her. When I did, she said, oh, that's cool. I didn't get any play, but now I can solve a Rubik's Cube in 30 seconds.
Wow.
That's sweet.
That's impressive.
That's cool. You can learn a new skill.
Yeah.
People talking about something that they got involved in they normally never would to try to get laid, Ski.
Appliance Jesus once told a woman that he made over $100,000 a year as a professional ghostwriter for some mainstream artists.
That's hilarious.
And he said it worked.
Well, I guess I tried once, now that you bring this up. Okay. I was maybe racking my brain too hard on, being successful with a little bit of misinformation. There certainly was one night where I tried to falsify who I was. A friend of mine had a beer party. We were 19 or 20 years old, and a bunch of strippers piled into the house. And I thought, okay, this is what I've been going for. This is why I'm here. Strippers. I was a young guy. I lied and told them that I was a member of the Hartford Whalers National Hockey League team. And they bought it. It still didn't get me anything. But I even convinced them that the gap in my teeth was from a high stick from Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
There used to be a Twins player named J.D. Durbin, and I was volunteering at Twins Fest one year, and I was running one of the autograph lines, and he was one of the players there. And he was a young pitcher, and he asked me, he's like, oh, are you in high school? I go, yeah. He goes, you ever go down to Fort Myers? I go, yeah, for spring training. I've been there a time or two. He goes, here's what you do, man. He named off like 3 bars. He goes, you go to those bars, you tell every girl there you're a double-A pitcher, about to hit it big, about to make it to the show, guaranteed you'll get laid.
This individual pretended to be afraid of flying once on a plane because the woman next to him was hot. Got her number and hooked up with her later, he says. So, kind of played the wounded character.
Yeah, like, oh, poor baby.
Big bearded Jared went to Wee Fest. Jeans, cowboy boots, cut-off flannel. He said, I hate country music, but it was worth it.
In college, I definitely acted like I was into the country music scene.
I would never sink that low for sex.
I don't think I could. I mean,
I would never sink that low for sex.
Not just country music, but I don't think I could pretend I was into something. I might go along if that's something you're interested in, but yeah, I don't think I could be like, wow, this is really wonderful. I enjoy the way they do whatever that is they're doing. Green Bay Attorney Jesus said, would going on a coffee date when you don't drink coffee count? Because that would be weird. Has anyone here done that? Just out of curiosity. Has anyone here done that?
No.
Nope, I would never do that.
Oh, I did. I sure did.
That was great.
It was so great.
One more time. What are we talking
So
about?
I got on a first date with a gal, and it had gone well. And we were I was walking her to her car, and I said, well, hey, we should do this. I was new to this, kind of like new to dating again after getting divorced. And it just came out. I'm like, well, let's go get coffee. Because I thought that's what people do on dates or something. Don't drink coffee, but we went and got coffee anyway.
And you drank a coffee?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I would never drink coffee. I just don't routine. It's not part of my routine.
No, I understand,
routine.
but you had a cup of coffee.
I had a cup of coffee.
And
sip, gross.
Yep.
Sip, gross.
Yeah.
Sip, too hot.
Not enjoying this. Blowing on it.
I do know a guy who, this was shocking. This wasn't that long ago. And he mentioned it like we weren't going to tee off on him about it. It was, a group of buddies sitting around and, what have you been up to lately? And he mentioned that he ran into an old high school girlfriend of ours, and the two of them went out for coffee. And when he said it out loud that way, he moved on in the conversation, and we all said, whoa, what? What is this? Is this a sitcom or something? That just isn't a part of our regular thing. You went out for a cup of coffee. It just seems so unlike his personality, but I don't know. I guess it's the hip thing to do. We got to take a break. More on you folks who, acted a little bit outside of yourselves to try to get some action.
You're listening to the radio. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I say we get out of here at 9.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I say we get the hell out of here.
Kind of got used to it.
I'm going to go ahead and make 9 a.m. A hard out for the Half-Assed Morning Show. Our wonderful listeners have been texting in. They've been telling us what they did, which was out of the norm for them, in order to try and get some squish. They pretended to be somebody else. They weren't completely honest about their likes and dislikes. The draw of new ass was strong enough to cause them to alter their normal behavior. Here are some of the texts that I got on my end. I bought a pair of shoes from Zoomies.
Some Vans?
Yeah. Because the girl had a foot fetish for a specific brand.
Oh.
Interesting.
Bought a lot of shoes at Zoomies in the past for my kids.
Yeah, you used to wear Vans. Didn't you wear Vans?
No, I've never had a pair of Vans. In high school and middle school, I wanted them so bad.
What were those other, you had a certain kind of shoe that was very popular.
DCs?
No, never had DCs.
Airwalk?
Converse?
At any rate, I have a pair of Vans. I do. I have a pair of checkerboard.
Oh, yeah, you do. I like those. I like when you wear those.
Yeah, I know, but my feet get so sweaty. It's terrible. Now, here's a guy who, he didn't need to do this. He was married. Your wife is likely going to have sex with you at one point or another, but this guy, he still went ahead and tried something that he normally, just to impress his wife. He ran a 5K. Oh. That's crazy. You could have died from that.
Yeah, I don't know if I could go that far.
Nope, I couldn't.
Maybe I'd have to work my way up to something like that, but just on a whim, my wife wanted, because she does some stuff like that, there's no way I can join.
No.
Really, honestly, don't do that, because you could die. Dude says, I was so out of shape, I thought I was going to die. I got so tired, nothing happened that night. Well, hell no.
No.
Hammer swinging Jesus ran a flipping 5K.
More anxiety than hair Jesus was wearing a Bubba Gump shrimp shirt at the bar one time, and he said a very attractive lady approached because Bubba Gump is her favorite restaurant, and he said they talked about how amazing it is and how much he loved it, but his secret was he's never been there.
That's awesome.
The shirt was a gift from his sister.
Cubby, you ever have any women approach you over your Mills Fleet Farm wardrobe?
No, but I actually, funny you say that, I wore a Mills Fleet Farm sweatshirt over the weekend, the entire weekend, and much of last week. And I had a guy comment on it.
Oh, and close enough.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to. Yeah, I could have picked him up maybe.
Yeah, close enough.
You guys are gonna hang out?
And we drove right by it, and I wanted to stop there, but then I realized I was wearing the sweatshirt and decided maybe I'd look like a bigger dork than I already am.
People are stopping you to ask you questions. Hey, where are the wrench sockets?
Now, I think we talked not that long ago about most women aren't impressed by fighters.
Oh,
you know, when we're young guys, we think chicks are drawn to that. Let me kick this guy's ass in front of this chick. You know, that kind of a thing. It's a young guy's ridiculous mentality. Most women, they're totally turned off by that. But let's say one of us has a lady or a man in our life, and that lady or man are impressed by that type of thing. We have a listener who has volunteered to let us kick their ass. Because maybe you'll end up with a person who's drawn to, ooh, look how tough they beat the guy. Minnesota Moses has said, if any of you need to impress a significant other with a fight, he would willingly, as he put it, headbutt fists for all of us.
Way to take one for the team, man.
He's a good dude.
Mm-hmm. That is something. I wonder if most people would be too smart and they would see right through it and know instantly, okay, there's no way you're that great of a fighter.
They're in cahoots.
Although me and my buddy Dane, we did put on a fake fight at a beer party once and everyone bought it.
Up at the crack of dawn, Jesus said he used to use his 3-year-old nephew to get girls at the playground.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, you hear that, right? Babies and puppies.
Yep.
All right. A 6'6" listener lied to a woman one night at the bar. He lied to a woman one night at the bar is what I tried to say. 6'6". He said he was a D1 college prospect that was supposed to play at Duke, but he blew out his ACL. And he says, I got some action out of it.
I once stretched the truth a little bit. I met a girl at a bar and we were talking music, and she goes, my all-time favorite artist is John Legend. I've seen him so many times. I absolutely love him. And I said, well, yeah, I love John Legend too. I saw him perform live once, which was true. But what I didn't tell her was that he sang God Bless America at WrestleMania one year. And that's where I saw him perform live.
Well, you didn't lie.
Yeah, I know. I didn't lie. I didn't say I went to his concert. I said I saw him perform live.
By the way, Box Tossin' Jesus also got a compliment on his Fleet Farm sweatshirt recently as well. It's just something that happens.
You guys should form a club.
Yeah, well, there should be like a little wave, kind of like Jeep has the Jeep wave. Mm-hmm. There should be something, a little head nod or something.
Throw up like an F with your hands, like a gang sign.
But depending on where you are, that might not end well.
Yeah. Here's what this listener texted in as to what he did to try to get some, as he put it, poontang. It sounds like he was trying to score with a gal who's into the signs. What do they call that? Astrology?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. He said, I had to act like I cared about her magic crystals and star signs in order to get laid.
Ooh, that's hard.
She hated Libras, so there I am pretending my birthday isn't in October.
Oh no. I know none of those. I know what I am, but I don't know any other. I don't even know how long mine lasts.
I forget all the time.
I know nothing about that stuff, and I don't want to know.
Do you know your sign though? You probably heard it.
Oh yeah, but I'm a Virgo.
I wouldn't be able to help.
I don't remember. I don't follow that stuff. It annoys the hell out of me.
As far as women liking or disliking fights, delivery driver Jesus said, if anyone uses swords, spears, or any weapons, it's an instant turn on for me. It's the only kind of fighting she likes, though.
It's a big difference. It's true.
All right. Guy met a gal who was a really bad artist, but he pretended to like her stuff, was very complimentary. Bought a little piece of her art at an art show. She was thrilled, he says. Read all the Twilight books to try and impress a woman. He says, I got her, and it was super worth it. Read all the Twilight books.
I wonder if he really enjoyed them. You know, if something like that, where he's miserable and all of a sudden thought, geez, these are pretty good.
Yeah, dang it, why do I like
Didn't
these?
you read those, Ashley, or just
Yeah,
movies?
I did. Oh, I think I read all of them. Those in the Hunger Games.
Fun Size Jesus said their best man used their golden retriever at a festival to pick up chicks, and it worked. Cooper the dog gets all the bitches.
Oh, everybody loves golden retrievers, too.
I got one more on my end, and it's a young lady. Here's what she did. That's a little out of the ordinary for her. To get a million, she would wear an unpadded bra and put wireless earphones in there to make it look like she had hard nipples.
Really?
Wow.
That's smart.
It is?
I would never think to do something like that.
I bet they have.
Guys love that.
Fake nipples.
They do.
They do.
Oh, do
Yep.
they? Just so you look like you're nipping out?
Yep.
Yep.
Ah, I didn't know.
We'll get you a pair.
Well, my wife was just showing me these things she got to make it so you can't tell if she's nipping out.
Oh, they little sticky
covers,
things?
yeah.
because I found it in my clothes in the dryer. I'm like, what is this?
Is this a chicken cutlet?
Am I becoming a woman?
Dude, the first time I saw a set of those, I had no idea what was going on.
Confused too.
I asked the girl, I said, did you get injured or have you been in a car accident? Because she had these, maybe we're talking about two different things, but she had just these little stickers over the...
Oh, yeah, what I'm talking about is like it kind of looks like a cloth cup of some sort.
All right.
Yeah.
The first time I saw the pasties on a lady.
The stickers look weird too, especially if they're like they match the skin tone, because then it just looks like I don't like to look at myself in the mirror after I put them on. It throws me off.
I thought maybe she had been burned.
Yeah, I get it.
You're a great crowd. Again, thank you for the text messages. Bye, damn.
We appreciate the participation. Wild fan in Vermont Jesus has checked in, the president of the Vermont chapter of the Brotherhood. Happy birthday to the smoking hot Shay from her dirty Frenchman. Marvel can suck my DC Jesus. Taste the Golden Spray Jesus has texted in a request for a birthday shout out. He said his birthday was December 11th, and he's starting to think that his friends aren't going to do one for him. He might be on to something. Happy belated birthday. Happy 60th to Dan from Trucking Jesus. Happy birthday to Amelia, turning 15 today, from Dad, but you didn't mean not to, Jesus. And happy 37th to Jody, a.k.a. Judith, the beautiful wife of your friendly neighborhood garbage man.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.